Hello, welcome. Making new logos? Only kind of. I I actually made this logo around the same time that I was making all of the other thumbnails and assets because I knew that I wanted to have a panel show because the whole point of the escape corner has always been about getting other people involved in figuring out what's your escapism. So interviewing people or just talking with the chat to figure out kind of what your escapism is and how we can, do that in a way that is productive and healthy, right? And so I always wanted to have a cast like specific show that could be separate from the corner. So it was a thing I did, and now I'm using it. Huzzah. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-da-ba-ba. Let's get these links around. Do 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 do. Boo doo boo doo doo doo. Boo doo 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 doo. Boo doo 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 boo doo. Boo doo doo boo doo boo doo doo. Boo doo 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 doo. Boo doo 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 doo. Doo boop. All right, there we go. We'll get that going. And while we wait on some of those, because it's a surprise escape cast today. We have wouldn't think it on a Thursday traditionally. Why, hello, Serranos. Let's see if the internet does what it's supposed to do today. That would be great as well, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it be fantastic? Boo-doo-doo, doo. Boom, doom, boom, boom. Hey, a pop. What else do I? Is that it? Is that all I do? Yeah, everybody else knows how to. Everybody else knows how to get on there. All right. Today, I came across this bad boy. So Shochiku Bai is sort of like saying Jim Beam in sake terms. It is a big name brand that has everything from a bottle this size that only costs $10 to bottles this size that costs hundreds of dollars because they're limited edition things. This one is it normally in the middle. Normally this is like that $30, $40 bottle. It was on sale for $22. So I was like, heck yeah, let me try some of the Bargain Basement's higher tier. Let's get into that. So I probably won't be drinking this whole thing tonight. But I say that now. Yeah, should be. Let's see what. Forgot these things are just kind of like sitting on there, and then we've got like a weird plasticky metally corkly deedly doodly. Ooh. Easy. I can hear it sucking air back in, so we know it's fresh. Uh-oh. Where'd my lid go? That was stupid. I was trying to look cool, but that was kind of stupid. All right, let's go. Gently. Okay. It's much harder to pour these bottles. So where in previous streams I've been finishing entire 750s, the 1.8s are unwieldy, making it a little bit harder for me to drink too much on stream. So it's sort of a physical, like a speed bump, if you will, in my drinking prowess. So, kanpai, everyone. Let's see. What did I watch? I watched last updated. How do I do this again? Okay, Prima Doll. Prima Doll reminds me so much of Sakura Wars. It really does. It's got that we're a group of people that do one thing, but we also do another thing. And I'm quite enjoying it. And while I talk about why I enjoy it, say hello to the pop culture mechanic. Hello.
Hello, Blaine. Hello, everyone.
All right. We're doing reviews here. So Prima Doll, I remember somebody told me Prima Doll was going to be good. But tell me if this sounds great to you. We have Automata and Mechamata. So Automata are basically self-regulating android type, like what you would think of when you think of an automata, right? And then Mechamata is literally like the robot that just follows orders. And so these automata, the Prima Dolls, if you will, we are now in the post-war society. So what do you do with them? They now are waitresses at a cafe, and in the kitchen are the Mechamata, who they like give commands to and stuff. And it's I'm liking it. It's got a lot of those interesting like post-war vibes that you get from some more classic like 80s style shows that are like, well, I fought in the big one. What do I do now? And I'm quite excited about this idea.
That sounds interesting for sure. Definitely like to see some pictures from it.
Well, say no more.
Ask and you shall receive.
Picture. Here, how about a video? I think I figured out how to do video without having it completely eat my streams.
That's
boom. Good. Okay. What? Go full screen. Oh, are you kidding me? I gotta like go to YouTube. Okay, hold on a second. Damn embedded videos. Why can't they ever do what I need them to do? Here, this will work. Okay. So we have that very British styled anime that I am always a big fan of. The automata are robots, and I'm pretty sure that these things are like battery packs or something. But I can't say that for certain yet. They haven't given us that many details as far as, oh, this is how the world works. Also, it's called the Black Cat Cafe, which is just kind of an adorable name for a cafe that is serving what I assume to be British and the like Western style foods. Her name's so. There is scenes in this too that are like this. I'm pretty sure is either 1:1 animation where they're animating each frame separately as a keyframe, or they did CG and then like drew over it, like almost a weird CG to 2D kind of thing. It's got this very like the way her sleeve flops and everything. Like there's no like in between there. It's very, very strange. And this happens a few times. And my brain, when I first saw it, was like, did it just go CG for them moving too much? But I don't think it is. I think it's 1:1 animation where every single frame is a keyframe.
Huh.
Not something you see.
It does look strange.
They went ahead and they were nice enough to give everybody a favorite color to follow.
彼女たちの可能性を試したいだけさ。ご注文はいかがなさいますか？
アフタヌーンティーであります。3番テーブルにお願いしますね。オートマタには戦争以外にも役目があります。私、歌で黒猫亭を盛り立てたいんです。
extra little bits because as of right now, if I had seen this and made a decision based off of
戦
this
争で貧しく
trailer.
なったのは人の心じゃないかと思う。
Okay, yeah, here we
戦
go.
闘行動を開始せよ。
Yeah, there's like they control those other robots, and like in the first episode, she has to like use that power to like save a little girl. It's like right off the bat, like, hey, we're working at a cafe, but also like sometimes we have to stop rampaging robots, so that's a thing too now. But like if I saw this trailer, like this trailer so far is like, I ain't about it. Like I'll watch robot girls doing robot things some other time, but you add mysterious steampunky robots with guns, suddenly I'm down, I'm in. Let's see it.
あなた、何者ですか？
Yeah, yeah.
戦争はもう終わったんです。
だが
Also, they
人形を道
cry.
具だと
It's
軽
one
ん
of
じ
those
る
things I
輩
kind of hate.
はま
It's
だ
like
多いぞ。
how does like
私は
like
壊
we
れて
can
しまいたかっ
program
た
pain
時
into
間
a
の無駄で
robot,
あり
but
ます。
why would you waste time making it leak fluids?
Yeah.
そばに
It's got to show emotion somehow.
Right? But I
抵抗
hate
す
it.
るなら私は壊れてほしくないですよ。一緒に歌いたいですよ。
Unless you have it like you want them to eat so that customers feel comfortable around them, or other soldiers feel comfortable around them or something like that. So you're like oh yeah, we'll make it so that they cry because people will be able to connect with them better. And in order to make them cry, we'll just have them eat and drink, and then they'll like convert the food to like a liquid that they could squirt out their eyes. Like maybe, but that's a lot of work just to make someone feel good. And it's like there's plenty of people that cry and never have a tear, so why don't we just like give them emotions? Peter Venkman's fan site, welcome. I'm glad you finally got the right password to the Wi-Fi. I'm not sure why it was hidden from you, but I'm glad you have it now.
Yeah, that was quite the dichotomy there. It's got cutesy little anime maids and harsh battle, war.
Yeah. Yeah, and it like by description, it's like, oh, these are war bots. So basically one of those little girl automata bots will command like a battalion of the tanks and foot soldier bots and then stop doing it, and it's like, oh, what do they do now that they stop doing it? And already in episode 1, the effects of controlling that many bots is already kind of like a thing that they're jumping into. So it's I'm more hopeful for this one having an interesting like kind of mid-season or early season twist to the like, oh, we're coming for you because you committed war crimes, something like that gets it a lot darker as compared to what was the other one I watched? RPG Real Estate. RPG Real Estate waited to that last episode to pull out the, hey, what if just death in this cutesy show? What if that was a thing? But they wait till the last episode. I think this one will have it kind of throughout because they've already got it in episode 1.
Yeah. No, that looks interesting. I think you'd be proud of me too, Blaine, because I actually watched an anime that was like released in this month or
Oh. You and I also haven't talked about Iron Blooded Orphans, have we?
No, we haven't. But I've actually I'm watching right now Harem in the Labyrinth of Another World.
Nice. Did you find the uncensored version?
I did.
It's one of those things where kind of you start it and you're like, why am I watching this? And then you watch it in like its full glory and you're like, why was that okay, that one I get, but like why was that censored?
Yeah, exactly. No, it's good. And just finished. I got up to the latest release and it seems to be all right. So very good. Awesome. RPG isekai, type deal.
I saw a comment on episode 3, like top comment on one of the sites that shall not be named, was, man, I'm really happy that they've got someone who's so glad to be a slave. Like that's a very strange comment out of context.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
They need a doll that uses a Vulcan. They might have a doll that uses a Vulcan, and we may just not have seen it yet. I also started Rent a Girlfriend season 2, and it does exactly what a season 2 should do when it's been years since season 1. It spends a minute or so per like main girl character to show them on the side and have them say, "Hi, I'm mommy, and I do this and I do that, and this is what I found out about our hero and his girlfriend." And the next one's like, "I'm Ruka, and I want to be the actual girlfriend of our ding dong boyfriend here, and so I'm gonna do everything I can to beat Chizuru." And we got like a little rundown on what they all did in season 1 and how they are related to our main boy. Really, really concise and easy. And as soon as the rest of the episode started, I didn't feel like the episode was rushed. It could have been filler, but it didn't feel like filler because we had been hinted to about it. But I quite enjoyed Rent a Girlfriend season 2's opening episode. More so even than Devil's a Part-Timer season 2. Like Devil's a Part-Timer just went with the let's talk about it. And then Rent a Girlfriend sort of just said, "Hey, this is about relationships. What if I just pop on what the relationships are?" And with that, we say hello to the man who's watched more anime this season than me and potentially anyone else on the planet, Serranos.
That is definitely quite technically possible. Probably impossible, but
let's be fair. Whoever's watched more than you doesn't have time to come chat with us. So
they're still watching anime.
They're watching.
Yeah, they're watching anime right now. Hey, guess what I'm doing right now? I'm watching anime.
Oh my gosh, what are you watching right now?
No, I just got finished watching the second episode of Devil's a Part-Timer.
Did it improve? Did it kind of move into that new storyline?
Yeah, it's just continuing the thing with the kid, and it's like, what are we doing with this? It's like, how do we deal with having a small child and having to take care of it?
Gotcha. My prediction, I read nothing of the manga, is that this little child will get like Gon powers where she just like ages up for some reason whenever she needs to get like Super Saiyan, and suddenly she'll be like a young woman, and then when she depowers, she'll go back to being like a little kid.
Little babby, and lose the memories.
Yeah.
Also, she's gonna be big
waifu.
Oh, there you go.
I don't know anything about the manga either. I never really read up on it because I just never even thought about doing so. Yeah, that was not the only thing I watched, but there wasn't really that much. Most of the shows are coming out on like Thursdays and Fridays, so always like ramps up to there.
Oh, I haven't set up my anime schedule list, have I? What's Kurohime? Pop?
Oh, that was a manga I was reading back in the day. It's almost like a Bayonetta type thing. It's sort of a Western. This woman, very buxom woman, gets turned into a young girl version of herself. And when she gets to get serious and fight people, she ages up like you were just talking about there. That's what it reminded me of.
She turns back to her old self.
Yeah.
That's a pretty popular thing in Japanese, because you've got like even recently the great Jahi-sama will not be defeated. Demon sorceress from another world gets sent to our world, loses power, and as she depowers, she becomes like a little kid. Like I wonder where that comes from, because like they've got the hammer, but just the hammer makes things big or small. It doesn't really doesn't de-age things.
I think they're just more open with their fetishes.
Well, we know that.
You could be right.
Kitty Pair just finished Summertime Render episode 15. Congratulations.
Yeah, that's a show I'll try to look at sometime. Yeah, for me, for my like tier list thing, I haven't really made much moves, or I haven't really moved anything on it. The main thing is I'm not really planning on watching any more of Vermeil and Golden. My stepdaughter girlfriend lives show. I'm not gonna watch that one anymore either.
You're not gonna
Nah,
watch panty
that's
sniffing?
that's 2 episodes of that's enough. And
You're
or
not
yeah,
about it?
I was gonna say the Harem in a Labyrinth, pretty interesting. I don't think it's even that great, but just the way it tells the story, and you see a lot of what the main character's thinking, and
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of funny, the idea that he gets depressed when he runs out of mana. His little
Yeah,
bout of
yeah. Every
depression.
time he was warping there.
There's a lot of interesting little things about the show that it does differently than just like other stories will. Like the fact that they don't make any light of the fact that he's killing people at this point, anyways. It
They
is kind
actually
of
like it
it's
means
very
something.
awkward for him to have done it. He's not really sure. He has to convince himself that it's okay that he did it for the money.
Yeah, that's true. And the fact that he's not freaking out like a normal, sort of isekai where a person goes from one world to the next. He's not freaking out, like screaming at the top of his lungs and stuff like that, like your typical
It's pretty toned
protagonist would.
down. It takes itself seriously, and even with some like things that are fantastical, it doesn't seem. It seems grounded still.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
Yeah, and that's just one thing that makes it fairly interesting to watch. And I think I'll keep watching it if I end up still thinking it's like more of a 6 overall. It's like that's pretty okay.
You know what?
There's also weaknesses.
Sometimes
it
a
has, but,
6, sometimes a 6 will have like something about it that's just kind of unique, and you're like, hey, you know what? Overall, kind of meh, but
yeah, there's just some things about it
something
that
helped.
are really nice. Yeah, there's just some things other shows aren't going to do. You're not going to see other shows do this kind of thing. There aren't other stories. There's also elements that will be copied over and over that people don't question why it's being used. And it's just like something they're going to throw in there. Like they're going to have the comedy. They're going to have this specific type of joke that's going to happen. The character's going to react this way. You have to go through the whole motions of getting teleported to another world, like you said. But this one doesn't do that at all.
Interesting.
That's why like most isekai just bounce off of me. It's like this is the same thing they've done over and over and over and over.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's why this one definitely catches
adding stuff to my schedule so I can see the dates that things come in.
Yeah, I think I'm probably also. This is also early in the season, but I'm probably happiest, or just about happiest, with this season of Overlord versus any of the other seasons.
Really?
Yeah. I mentioned before the animation in the other seasons was the thing that like let me down the most. It's like, oh, that's so ugly to look at. And that was like one of my biggest gripes generally. But hey, we haven't had that bad. Even the one CGI, like big CGI army they had this time is like, that doesn't look that bad.
That's good.
It's like, yeah, that's pretty alright. And the story is quite strong still. All the pieces moving across the board and all these people doing their different things. You get to see all that stuff coming together. It's nice. I always like that kind of show.
Jeez, Lou, this is a weekend heavy season.
Hey, I hear you just scroll. Yeah.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 things on a Saturday.
I'm glad I dropped most of those shows.
Whew, that's a lot.
Yeah, this is not sustainable. I'm sure some of these are gonna drop pretty hard. And some of them have to wait. Like Shadow's House 2, I still haven't finished the first season. I just know that I want to get into it.
Yeah.
Tokyo Mew Mew will probably drop off as soon as I start it. And I think this should also include Cuckoos and there's Summertime Render, which is still on my 2 watch list.
That is still coming, yeah. I think for me, I only have like 5 shows. The 5 shows at the top of my list I'm just not planning on dropping at all. I guess I'd probably add Labyrinth Harem to that one as well, just because it's interesting.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, the rest of the shows, like anything that had like Below B or whatever, the Bakamatsu Bad Boys, Bastard, Yakuza Babysitter, Chimumo. Those are like less priority. I don't plan on dropping them, but they're not as high priority. If I just stop watching, I'm just gonna stop watching it.
So here's a question for you, because I feel less priority with something like Bastard, where Netflix just drops the whole thing, and I'm like, oh, I can watch it all. But there's something about how, like, you know, when I finally catch up and I'm watching weekly, then it's like, oh, I'll watch the new one. Oh, I'll watch the new one. Oh, because there's a new episode out, so it's kind of a thing to actually, you know, sit down and watch it, versus I just have to get through 20 episodes or 13 episodes, kind of whatever it is when it drops. Do you prefer binge, or do you prefer weekly?
I do not have a preference. I'll do either. I don't feel any additional pressure to like keep up on stuff weekly. It's just if I like the show, I'll just keep watching it. And I don't usually give preference to shows that are just currently airing. Like something like Prima Doll is like pretty decent, but I probably will just bounce off that. I'll just probably drop it. It's not like I dislike it or anything. It's all right. And there's other shows I'd rather watch that I think are better. Like I'd probably rather just go through Made in Abyss and catch up on that and start watching the second season instead of watching Prima Doll, something like that, right?
Yeah, because if you want something that has that sort of like darker undertone, like Made in Abyss is going to cover you on that. You don't need to see War Criminals, the anime.
Yeah, I mean, I think Prima Doll is like more of an average above average show, and I think Made in Abyss is I'm probably going to regard that pretty highly, so that's why I place that higher on priority. Like you kind of have to prioritize things because of just how much stuff there is to watch, right?
Of course. There's no reason to just keep building out a list if you're not going to keep, you know, watching all of it. It's like at some point I'm gonna have to go to my spring 2022 list and say drop.
Yeah. Like I mean, you looked over the other day my like watching list. Like Banana Fish was one I dropped like most of the way through. I thought it was like pretty decent. I do plan to finish watching it at some point because I was like, I do like it. It's fairly unique, right?
Yeah, I mean it's I always hear things referred to as it's like Banana Fish, but so it's sort of it's got a weird position, I think, for a lot of people.
That you say that because I don't think I've even heard people talk about Banana Fish since it came out. Really, it's not like one of those bigger shows.
You need more BL loving friends.
Yeah, I don't have any. I don't have women friends.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say you're wrong.
Or more specifically, the couple that I do, they don't watch anime. Yeah.
Oh well, we can fix that.
Yeah, it's harder than you think. You just have to get the right kind of show.
Care as long as they finish
you have to
the
get
show.
the BL shows. Yeah, if they're peasant My Hero Academia watchers, you have to introduce them to the Banana Fishes of the world.
True.
I'm sure they've all seen Yuri on Ice, though. Every single one of them has seen Yuri on Ice.
I think everybody's seen Yuri on Ice, though, haven't they?
I didn't watch.
You haven't?
Nah.
I didn't watch Yuri on Ice because I was like, I'm not gay.
Okay, I have a funny story then about Yuri on Ice. Give me 1 second here.
Yeah. And I got you. I saved it with 300 pulls, so now I can guarantee get the next character that I want. That's very, very exciting. I'm sure you are so happy for me.
Your gotcha game.
My gotcha.
Stealing all your money.
I would say gotchas, but I am a person who's like, I play the one game. I play Arknights. I play the one game. That's it. That's plenty of time used for me. Is like play it once or twice a day. Just play it for a little short sim. That's enough.
So there was 1 year when my my sister in law was in town, and my wife had to work. So she was going to be doing like a catered party at the place that she was at, or something like that for New Year's Eve. And so it was like, all right, well, we're just going to watch anime. So we each brought an anime. We watched the whole of the anime. And so in one single night, we watched all of Yuri on Ice, followed by all of Keijo, because she brought Yuri on Ice and I brought Keijo.
Which one did she like better?
What's it?
Oh, yeah, you can go on.
Oh, I was just going to say, and then my wife got home like just after New Year's. So then we popped champagne for like a late a late New Year's. We were like, it's midnight somewhere on the planet. So yeah, in a single night we binged watched one of the gayest and straightest anime of the time.
Yeah, I was gonna say, which one do your sister-in-law like better?
She brought Yuri on Ice. She could, to this day, that's one of her favorite anime of all time.
Yeah, it makes sense. I thought you were gonna throw a plot twist there. That would've been funny.
To be fair, she didn't hate Keijo. She was like, well, that was kind of nice about like her chasing her dreams, and like she latched on to the actual morals of the story, so that's
You
good.
consider her to be an honest person? You
What?
think she's not duplicitous? You think she's a very honest person?
No, I don't think. Well, you
think
have
she
to
would
understand,
lie?
I am the most we'll say honest if we want to be nice about it, blunt if you want to be a little more rude, and straightforward and in your face if you want to be what it actually is with my tastes. And people will be just as straight with me back, because they know that if they lie, now they're the weirdo in that situation, because there's nobody who would be want to be the liar in the conversation. They're like, oh, they're being honest with me, so I'll be honest with them. But if you get two people that think each other are lying, then sure, they'll gloss over stuff, they'll glaze over stuff. But no, she was like, that was a bit much, but
You
it
can
had
tell based
these
on the
good
reaction, yeah.
takeaways. So yes, I believe that she spoke to me with honesty and integrity.
Integrity remembers.
Animes for little kids. Yeah, is anime for little kids, like, is that actually a thing that anyone hears
I actually have heard that.
consistently?
It's usually from older family members,
Interesting.
like older relatives. Yeah, my parents never
It's from
really
the
cared. Yeah,
it's from the ignorant people. That's all. I mean, they want to say that. It's like, okay, let's watch Ninja Scroll, then tell me what you think.
Yeah. Dragon Ruse in chat is like, show them DXD and then we'll see what they think.
I mean, those people generally don't actually know what anime is. They don't actually know the distinction between anime or like Japanese animation. Like that's from Japan. I didn't know that.
Right.
Like you show them a Ghibli movie, they would be like, "Oh, that's Disney show."
Oh, that's a fun Disney movie. Interesting.
Oh,
Yeah, something like
That's-
that. That's the kind of
that's
people I see that
sacrilege.
say that.
That's sacrilege.
yeah.
And Disney distributed Ghibli films. If you want to go that far.
The way I explain
half.
it to people is it's just a different medium. That's all. It's just a different storytelling medium. It just happens to use drawings than live action.
Yeah.
Well, and even if you want to say, bring in a Western example, show them some Ralph Bakshi and convince them that cartoons are for kids, right? Like Fritz the Cat is what the first adult cartoon made. It's not the first adult cartoon, because there's like weird little like gifs and stuff that people, well, they weren't gifs at the time.
We're gonna
but
talk about something that's like majorly produced and also
yeah, like
distributed.
something that was actually produced and available in theaters and everything, right? And it was a furry porn essentially, and it's like, this is what cartoons used to be. Saturday morning cartoons was like a very novel concept to try
And
to
people are straight
sell
up aware that kind of
toys.
stuff exists. Yeah, people do not know that exists whatsoever.
Yeah, like heavy metal. Heavy metal is another good one.
Everybody should know heavy metal.
Here's the kind of things that people know about animation is like, oh, Disney started animation. Disney was their origin of animated films. And they made cartoons on television, and then they also made movies. And there's other studios that started making movies in the 90s.
Yep.
That's how it goes.
Oh, this studio made like an interesting animation and Disney bought them, so now they're a Disney studio. Gosh, that's so frustrating. I think does DreamWorks, they still have a separate, totally off topic, I guess, but DreamWorks is still its own thing, right?
I think. I've never seen any fan art of any character other than Shell from DreamWorks, so I'm not sure if they still make anything though.
Other than who?
The character from the girl from Road to El Dorado. Remember her?
Oh.
You remember that show actually?
I'm about to.
Oh yeah, you'll You'll remember for a long time after that.
Oh, Road to
Shell.
El Dorado. Yeah. Okay.
Shell.
Chell.
Yep.
Oh. Yeah, she probably has lots of fan art. Is this page safe enough for me to show?
No,
Nope, it's not.
No, it's not.
Nope.
Front page of Google, immediately not safe for work.
And
all I did was type in Road to El Dorado Chell.
Yeah.
And some asshole on Twitter has like second row of the Google image search with her booba out. Why? Internet?
Internet's beautiful.
I'm supposed to have safe search. Oh wait,
Even with safe search on.
you have to manually turn on safe search nowadays. I guess it doesn't just happen when you open an internet browser. But yes, I could see her. It's kind of like the chick from Atlantis, right? Like anytime you get that sort of tube top, wide hips, landing lines, the internet does what the internet does.
Yeah, that movie is pretty entertaining. Definitely a good cartoon.
Oh, there's a question. Have you ever watched a show because of the fan art of the show?
Huh.
I don't think so. Not really. I haven't
Really?
watched.
No, it's usually after.
I watch shows because I hear about it, or like I think I picked up High School DxD just because I heard about it. I was like, oh. But the reason I actually kept watching is I was like, yeah, it's kind of entertaining.
I had friends recommend DxD. They're like, it's like softcore, but it has a really fun story. I was like, all right.
Like
you mean
actually...
and?
Yeah, trying to think back a little bit of just something I've checked out because of fan art. It's hard to say because I don't usually see things first through fan art because it's not like I browse it all the time. Yeah.
Maybe it's
sometimes
just
I do learn about things, but usually I'll see like, oh yeah, this announcement also came out, and then people start drawing stuff up, stuff like that. Like
Gotcha.
Pokemon, just like the last couple months ago or whatever. Professor Sayada. I just like look on Twitter and it's like, oh, new Pokemon game got announced, I guess, because there's also tagged hashtag Pokemon.
PokeMilf, I think, was going around for a while with that one. Welcome to our degenerate conversation, Steven Ransom. How are you doing tonight?
Not too bad. How's my mic?
Well, we didn't hear you say bad, so it must be doing well.
It's Steven's cutting out mic time.
It's all right.
Today we are visited by Steve.
Do whatever you did last time, because last time it just worked.
I'll see you in a sec again from the other side.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll give him a couple times to disconnect and reconnect.
Wait till they find out Looney Tunes wasn't exactly kid friendly. Those are some of the best inside jokes for adults ever. Like when they're looking for fingerprints, and then the little Yakko sister is like, "Hey, I found prints," and they're like, "No, fingerprints." She's like, "No." Also, Hello Nurse.
There's a lot of like early animation I never watched because for me the stuff I watched on TV is really only like Saturday morning stuff. I watched movies and Saturday morning stuff. That was pretty much it. Any of the like Cartoon Network stuff because I didn't have access to cable. I never watched those. Those weren't available to me. In terms of stuff that I've gone back to watch. Oh yeah, one actually interesting thing is Star Wars: The Clone Wars initially was like doing this a simulcast. Actually, they aired with ads on I believe it's probably Cartoon Network or wherever it originally came out. They're airing it on their website as well as as putting it on TV. That's how I actually watched it originally. I didn't have to go to any piracy sites or anything. I was like, oh, this is unusual.
That was a good series from what I'd seen. I liked the Clone Wars.
There's obviously plenty of flaws with it, but I would say it was a very, very solid show. Kind
of tied you over until, and was that before Disney got a hold of it?
Yeah, or initially, anyways, I believe.
Okay.
Actually, maybe, yeah, it was, because it was like 2008. Yeah, it started like about 2008 with the film.
Yeah. So
At
it kind
least
of ties you over to what came up next.
it got me really excited, and then Disney actually started putting out movies.
Oh yeah.
I still I want the OG released. Release it from the vault.
We don't need to go a long diatribe about that.
Have you heard about the 4K 77 for the Star Wars there? They took the original print of the film and they've bumped it up to 4K.
No.
So there's a thing out there. It's called Star Wars 4K 77, and these guys are just doing a labor of love for the film.
How did they get the original film stuff?
They found it in a vault or something in Europe, something like that. There's just like a few. There's like maybe 10 minutes that's not available.
That's
but yeah,
hilarious.
if you type in Star Wars 4K 77, it'll come up. They'll tell their whole story about what they're doing, and
yeah, it's just the first film, right?
They're gonna be doing the other two as well.
Oh, they have what was the
Empire
10 minutes area they were missing then?
Yeah, they have to pull it from like the the despecialized edition.
Right.
But yeah, that's if you want your original trilogy, there it is.
I remember the 70 millimeter version came to the Cinerama in Seattle. It's like a special event because it's like our only 70 mil theater in the area. And it also happens to be the same theater that like my dad saw it in when he was like a kid. So we went and saw it. This would have been like probably 10 years ago, maybe 15 years ago at this point. But I remember it was just like, wow, this is very different. Do I see you backstage? I don't. I actually don't see you backstage, Steven. Do you see you backstage? Does someone else see him? Because I may be just blind.
I can't see anybody backstage. It doesn't show us that as far as I know.
Really? You don't get to see like the stack of everybody else's videos? You just see the center screen thing?
It just shows me myself there.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Here's an interesting question. Is your first since you guys don't look at fan art the way I look at fan art, is your first anime still in your top 5?
I would probably kind of say it was my first anime, so no.
I'd say yes, even though it's had a remake since then.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Which was yours, Pop Culture?
Space Battleship Yamato.
Mm.
I just love the remake. They did an excellent job.
If we went by Samurai Champloo as my second, probably, yeah. And I just have a lot of good shows on my I've watched.
Yeah, mine's probably a no because my first was the original Guyver OVAs. So
yeah, good, not the best.
Yeah, it was definitely fun, but I wouldn't put it in a top 5 of anything other than top 5 crazy OVAs from the 90s. That'd probably be the only thing it gets to go in.
Yeah, I have 11 choices for my top 5.
11 top 5s? Interesting.
I have 11 choices to put in top 5. 11 different shows. Yeah.
Have you ever seen Baki the Grappler?
No. Yeah, that's one I've never checked out. I do not know.
I've heard of it. I've heard of it, but I haven't seen it.
So there's Baki and Grappler Baki on Netflix, or Baki and Baki Hanma, I think are what they're called. They are actually sequel seasons to the original. The original was Baki Hanma, which was a kid who fought 100 delinquents and beat like 90% of them or something like that. I guess I could just say 90 of them. But then he goes and trains in the mountain with a guy and eventually is able to like fight bear and stuff with this guy who just lived in the mountains fighting bears. And the whole thing is a show about him getting stronger so that he can fight his dad. Because his dad's so strong he can like kick a nuke. Like just that's just a thing that happens in this universe. and a demon has like settled into his back. But every time I think of Baki, I think of somebody killing a bear and then eating bear sashimi, because when you kill something that strong, you eat it and you become strong. And then I saw this today and I just giggled to myself like the whole time. This is a circus bear. This guy is telling the bear what to do, and the bear is doing things. He's got a little bear muzzle on. Oh no! Oh no! I gotta put him out!
Oh, you really think that's gonna do something bad?
I'll let it finish. But
did he survive?
I have no idea. Probably
really
because the
bad
bear's
muzzle.
got a muzzle, so like
I think the
you can
muzzle
get
came
tore
off,
up,
though.
right? You're gonna get tore up by those claws. The bear's heavy, all this other stuff, but like bears aren't like, they're good if they whack you. They can give you some like real concussive force, some shredding force and stuff. But when they're on all fours and just sort of like they're going for that mouth attack usually. So because of the muzzle, I think he's gonna survive. But the best friend here, I'll mute it so we can talk over it. But fellow handler boy here, dude in red, who is just like,
He's
oh,
so
look at this guy. This is
casual.
working really well. I'm gonna move this wheelbarrow out of the way. I hope I don't have to. Oh no! How do I help?
Oh, I'm gonna kick a bear.
Dude, that bear doesn't even know he exists. I came across that today and I was like, you know what? If you were Baki, you could have done something.
You would have
But,
suplexed the bear.
yeah, and then eaten it in front of all those people. Oh my goodness. The internet.
I don't even know what kind of insurance you'd need for that kind of job. It'd probably be no insurance.
No animal deserves to be treated badly to make money. Slash phase. He lucky it was the bear in there and not me. Shrug. Are these fake accounts? Like, who
I don't
are
get
these
it.
people? Situation happened at a professional basketball game once. They're both okay, but the trainer was removed. So was the bear and that act. Okay, poacher, manhunt exposes murky world of Indian wildlife driving. Bear bile is big business? What? Spokesman of the circus said the bear belonged to the handler and that the act had been cut from the show. After the incident, we decided to part with the artist and the act will be removed from the program, she said, according to TASS. There's nothing... That's not there.
Nobody was killed.
There's nothing serious. The artist is all right. The bear is all right. Nobody killed the bear because the animal is not to blame. Circus represents also suggests to TASS that the bear could have attacked because it was frightened by anything. Literally anything. It's a bear.
Yeah, I don't think the bear was frightened by anything. I think it was I think it just wanted to do something else.
It
Now
just
you
snapped. It's a wild animal. I
This
mean,
guy's upset
what are you gonna
that
do?
somebody kicked the bear. I'm sorry. The kick was probably the nicest thing that's happened to that bear all week.
Yeah, exactly.
Crazy. I'm on the bear's side. Oh my goodness. The internet is a weird place. But why is Yamato trending? Like Space Battleship?
Or is it from One Piece?
I was gonna say it's almost 100% One Piece.
Oh, it's One Piece.
I remember I went to Echo Saber's Twitter today.
Ah,
I don't...
everybody wants her to
Yamato's
join
like
the
an
crew.
Oni.
Wait, I thought,
Yeah.
She's
I
kind of
thought
a fun
the
character.
thing in the manga was that she did.
Alright, let's try this again.
I know she's
I don't know.
traveling with her or whatever, because I just see
Yeah,
things about One Piece despite my refusal.
Yeah.
Alright, let's test that microphone.
Steven.
I think it's coming through and that's it.
Steven.
How do I sound now?
Oh, that
How
was
do I
great.
sound?
I
Pretty
heard the
clearly.
whole sentence.
Excellent.
How do I
A
sound
whole
now?
sentence. I can't believe it. Amazing. I don't know what happened. Some update must have. I've got, and I shut it all down, completely cold, brought it back up through Safari,
Mm-hmm.
and
You
that
should try picking up a
finally did
USB
it.
microphone. That'd probably be more consistent.
Isn't it just aren't you just running your phone? You're running mobile or something?
I tried it through my phone last time. That was the problem. The mic on the phone. And so who knows? Who knows?
And
I
what
had
are
an
you
issue
using now?
yesterday. That iPad, which is the oldest device in my house, and it's like it's got a better.
It's still more consistent.
I don't know. Who knows? I'm not gonna question it. Anyway.
Yeah, me. Yeah, you can go on.
Hey, somebody drew Yamato for Michael.
Oh.
He's got abs. I'm gonna tag
But
him.
is she a monster?
Neuron activation.
She's an Oni, I guess.
No, it doesn't count because she could be. She's only like one step from human, so it doesn't count.
Yeah.
Obviously, you've seen women with giant devil horns.
Yeah,
that's all women basically.
Human skeletons have horns.
I see no difference from her and the grandma I saw last week at Walmart.
Saw grandma with horns at Walmart?
Yeah, as she's doing a cosplay.
Wait, what?
No, this didn't actually happen.
Are you sure it didn't happen?
In his mind, it did.
I've seen some interesting, people in interesting outfits walk around town. I'm like, look at that thing. But I've not actually seen people with like Halloween costumes around, not during October. I don't actually see that around here. We're not weird enough for that.
You're not weird enough for that?
Yeah.
I was at Bubble Tea in Chinatown on a random Saturday, and Edward Scissorhands and some high school anime girl were getting bubble tea, and we're like, there's not a convention right now. Do you guys just really like those shows? And they're like, oh, we came from the Puyallup convention. I was like, Puyallup?
What is that?
Why did you come back here? For reference, that's like an hour and a half if it's smooth sailing.
That's
wow,
odd.
Anyway, to each their own, I guess. I suppose they could have taken the train. That's like the full length of the train almost.
Yeah,
it's
Steven,
crazy.
What have you been watching recently?
Actually, I've been watching and re-watching late at night and falling asleep with it on the epic Berserk.
Oh, there you go.
Series. Let me tell you, I don't know what it is about like me ego, but man, that guy can illustrate like Jesus H ever knew how to draw. My ego is so bruised, so impossibly beautiful. God, just some of the God. What's her name? The Pyromaniac. Jesus Christ, in love with some of these. Some of the ladies in that show. Armor is so perfect. Every shot of the armor is just. I think he was 3D modeling everything, but I know he isn't. It's look at such epic illustrations and just be like, wow, well, ever get to that level, it's just glorious.
Yeah, I think you're talking about this, right? The 21 hours of Berserk.
Yeah.
Yeah, the level of skill
this guy does some job.
Like top tier artists is absolutely insane. Because I remember the other day I just saw this one I don't remember the name of the artist himself, but he was drawing Batman in just like a a camera pan shot, and just the way he drew everything so meticulously was incredible.
Gosh, like, there's just so much to each of these. Like, they don't just have wings; they have like wings with these little striations on every single little bit of it. You know?
You can see just how the wing bends. You can see in like full 3D, basically. Because you get the full depth of how well he draws it.
He's going over this whole summary, and it's about through the third major arc, and he's like, it's about this time digital, and I'm like, he switched to digital? Jesus Christ! Like,
yep.
And he kept style with all the zip tone work and stuff. It's crazy. And for those that don't know what a zip tone is, there used to be this you would buy, and you'd have to cut them with an X-Acto knife to get them to fit around your illustration. No buckets. You had to do this by hand. Way back in the day.
That classic comic book look. They call it pop art nowadays, but all of these like dots to do shading with.
Yep.
These are what he was talking about, where he used to cut it all out and get just the right shade for the right shape, and then you pull off what you don't need. Yeah.
Well,
and then the crazy thing with
physically.
I was gonna say the crazy thing with Mura too. Let me see if I can find a picture of it. But he draws on like A1 or A2 paper. Like he draws posters. He doesn't draw like comic book size. They shrink it down for the comic book. That's why if you ever get like the special edition collection, because like a lot of mangakas will draw manga sized, and then if they do any sort of like book special edition, they'll sometimes just upscale it, and you can tell that the artwork's been just stretched. Whereas like with the Berserk special editions, because he draws on just these poster board papers, when you shrink it for a manga, you still have the big ones. You can shrink it for like an 8.5 by 11, or you can shrink it, whatever size like special edition you want to release. It'll still look good. Let me see if I can find a picture of it though.
Yeah, so that and
Lolly's video is amazing.
I forget, or was it you, Pop, that suggested Vivi?
Ooh, I think
For which one? Yeah, it might have been E-Class.
Suggested Vivi.
Yeah. I finished that up. That was as you. Yeah. Okay, I saw that coming. But so many of the details in between and the different AI evolutions, and I was fascinated talking about classic anime science fiction, where it's like, oh, this was about the story. No. This is about the engineering or the world building that was so incredible, because the last episode could have been a whole season all by itself, where she's having a massive distives talking to the AI and going back, and the two of them have battles within her in that construct where she's standing in the piano room, and it's so good. Classic.
Oh, 100%. Why can I not find this? I swear I've seen this picture. There's paper. Good night, Kitty Bear. Have a good one. This Berserk used for Mira.
Huge Batman vibes from Berserk. Especially.
Oh yeah, especially with the Berserker armor.
Yeah. It was like when the Japanese. What is the timing of all of that? There's so many tropes within tropes within tropes with anime. You've heard about all of this before, but that moment where he's standing on the hips, that just it just blows my mind.
Holding the page.
Oh, yeah. Well, that makes total sense now.
You could see like it's just this freaking poster-sized like page, and he's like, yeah, this is what I draw on. And so he went from that to, like, my guess is he had to wait for them to make a drawing monitor that was, 26 inches across before he could switch over to digital, and that's why it actually looked good when he switched over.
Makes sense.
Because he didn't change much. But yeah, no, he's super influenced, like on record by Batman, by Conan the Barbarian, by what else? Like a lot of that fun 80s stuff was a lot of his favorite movies, and so a lot of that made its way in. Star Wars, of course, has a big influence on him. I mean, one of the arcs is called the Falcon of the Millennium arc. Like it's just it's hard to get away from some of the reach that American cinema had back then, which is crazy to think that, like, you look at Berserk and you're like, wow, this is so cool, but then it's referencing to ancient our stuff, ancient quote unquote, but like it's going back to like our myth, right? So it makes sense that he'd come to our pop culture for kind of where it would be coming from, but very, very silly. Oh, and Geminira, yeah, the whole Puck, they're just being like the Emperor and the Stormtroopers and everything, like that, just straight up Star Wars, because he was like, I like Star Wars.
That's what I was getting at with the hand. During the second eclipse, there's one shot, or the shadow eclipse.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, this is not the real eclipse. This is a shadow of the shadow standing on the hand of the tower that's about to become like the Turkish. And I was like, oh, that he's the monkey. He's this from the Monkey King, and he's standing on the hand of Buddha, but it's all.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody else is familiar with this story that inspired Dragon Ball Z.
Yep.
And
Journey to the West.
Yeah, Journey into the West.
I always forget which way they go.
Journey to the West, I think.
Yeah.
India, basically across China. But there's a moment where the Monkey King gets slammed underneath a mountain for 1,000 years or something. He's literally standing on the hand of Buddha, and he thinks he's surrounded by 5 pillars. And it's so reminiscent of what Berserk goes to saying. There's references within references within references.
Right.
And I think that's what makes when it echoes and you can see the ripples of water hitting the shore, like, oh wait, this sounds like a story I know. And as you're reflecting, it's to it almost as a part of the engineering of the story.
Mm-hmm.
But
well, and you wonder, like, he's had an idea for what I guess I don't know how many ideas he has right now, but he had an idea for like what the ending of the story would be, 20 years ago. He was like, oh, I should kind of go this way. What do you think about this character? He's gone on record saying that chapter 83 or something like that, like, gave away too much of the ending. So like there's little bits where like he's kind of known where he's going with the story, but it keeps on going. So you always have that question in your head of like, when people do any long form anything, do they know where they're going, or are they just sort of like writing a story and seeing like where it ends up? Or do they have a definitive, like, I need to get to this position? And when you see something that's kind of as cohesive and has as many callbacks as Berserk, you're like, at least the skeleton had to have been, fleshed out a little bit. But at the same time, I don't know, maybe he's just that creative that he can just like keep going, and then all of a sudden it looks amazing.
And I'm being extremely egotistical to even suggest that I understand, but with an epic story like this and such an artist at that, one is humbled at even making I think I know where it was going, but I think that the name of the beautiful near devil character. I think that it was heading to Berserk or Guts becoming a second Knight, but not becoming the Skeleton Knight. That because he had friends and he did this, and that he would defeat his enemy, that Skeleton Knight lost.
Yeah.
Next major arc was probably going. That it would be a redemption of layers.
Well, I also like the theory that like Skull Knight and Nosferatu Zod are like two parts of what was originally one being.
Oh, that's interesting.
It's a total fan theory currently, but there's enough little like kind of hints and diddly bobs that are pointing to them being connected in more than just in this eternal struggle. That they are literally like the sort of like the gallant and the evil version of the same ancient king, which I think is fascinating. No idea if that's going to be real or if it would have been real or anything like that. But I always think that's kind of a crazy thought and idea in that whole series.
Yeah, and please remind me of the name of that the main villain. His name again?
Griffin.
Griffin. There you go. Griffin. The idea that the Moon Child is probably Siamese twin spiritually to him is somehow able to hold in the Berserk armor.
Yeah.
And the key that would become, even more powerful as the story went on. As a family, because the child connects to her as continuously staring at Guts. There was something going on watching it, because it's like, I love building ideas in my head. It's kind of a hobbles, but yeah. Anyway, did anybody see the trailer for D&D, the new Dungeons and Dragons movie?
Ooh, we can bring that up.
I
just saw it minutes ago.
No, I didn't.
You haven't?
No.
It's kind of a black pill for me, actually. It dawned on me that the television series, the animated 83, is an isekai.
Yes, exactly. I got that on DVD.
Everything is an isekai.
Ever since Alice in Wonderland, isekais have just been getting more and more bland.
All right. D&D.
Is this a Netflix thing?
No. I don't know.
No, it looks more like Amazon.
Oh.
Yes, that is the very beginning. They're like, let's play a little thing in case they don't have their audio up. Now the official trailer starts.
Here's the thing.
It's a
We're
little
a
loud.
team of thieves.
It what?
Oh, it says it's a little bit loud.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
I'll do this.
slightly.
They're a team of thieves.
Please be careful.
Yeah.
There's in here that don't get yourself in trouble.
Oh, I won't. I have a lot of commentary to say on things like this. Who has a team of thieves? Nobody since Aladdin, because teams of thieves are a bad idea. You can have thieves guilds, but an entire team where everybody's a thief. Find me success in that.
They don't have any tank. They don't have any healers. Auto loss.
And just looking at that group shot right there, the girl on the right, that looks like Scarlett Johansson's Black Widow. Like right off the bat.
Yep.
That's what I'm getting right off the bat.
It's
Very attractive.
it's so derivative. Every sequence.
I like that they took their 3D model of a dragon and just were like, hey, let's make it alabaster colored. And they just stuck it here as a statue.
It looks a little bit weirdly detailed, like the fins and
It's
the
legit
muscles.
skin if you look at it. Like it's actually like dragon skin. It's like there's no way they would have modeled that.
And you would expect these are like peasants or whatever, or just like low class people. It's like, how would they have the idea of exactly what the dragon skin looks like? How does it just so happen to look exactly like these terrifying beasts? These terrifying beasts that absolutely destroy cities.
I never got to a dragon when I played D&D, so you'll have to explain to me exactly how dangerous they could be.
I'm just going off base base ideas of fantasy. The dragons are usually terrifying creatures that could just kill anything in their path.
Well, I would assume so.
Yeah.
I almost died because of a freaking goblin, so can't imagine what a dragon would be like.
And when you do this, you're bound to make enemies.
Oh gosh.
Sometimes those enemies come looking for
their dungeon
revenge.
master like actually built like a giant like paper craft chest. So I'm interested to see if this is people playing the game or if this is just in the world. That's
seems to be in the world.
It seems to be in the world.
They're LARPers.
LARP.
Also, what do you guys think of Chris Pine? I'm kind of like, eh.
Chris Pine is he acts just like his namesake.
Yeah, I was like, eh.
Okay, Paramount.
Truth be told, we helped the wrong person steal.
Okay, my wife's boyfriend worked really hard on that chest. I laugh so hard at those jokes. Dragons can fight gods according to many anime. Yes, that is true. I think that ever since A Knight's Tale, there has been this weird fetish for directors to say, oh, we're doing a medieval thing, but we're going to have like rock music involved. And they kind of missed the entire point of A Knight's Tale being that it was basically tailgating, but with jousting. Like that was the entire purpose, is that it was a bunch of dude bros watching a sporting event. And it wasn't just about it being medieval. But now I feel like they're just like, oh, we've got knights and stuff. How do we reach these children? And they're just like, let's put in some rock music.
They're just nostalgia baiting for those 30-something nerds.
Exactly.
That's what it feels like.
Steal the wrong thing. We didn't mean to unleash the greatest evil the world has ever known. But we're gonna fix it.
So how do we pull that off? Figure it out over a drink?
Probably best. You need to give us a fighting chance.
Aye.
We're gonna need strength. You got this.
Did anyone see what the heck was it called? There's an animated D&D thing going on or that came out like a little bit ago.
Remember
I
the
watched
Amazon show, maybe?
Was it Amazon?
Because they had like this adult comedy.
Yeah, it was like kind of silly, and it was a lot of like, let's go get drunk and then throw up and like punch people, and I just got kind of boring for me after a while. But like,
just the premise sounds like garbage.
From the maker of Futurama.
You just hear this kind of thing. It's like all these interesting,
like
beautiful, fantastical settings, and it's just like your everyday office worker who has such a boring life that all they do is drink, and that's their only personality trait.
Yeah.
Like boiling down like
the animated show that was from the same guys that did Rick and Morty.
Was it them?
I do not believe that one. That would be like I think there was like the CIA secret organization Illuminati show or whatever. That's not the one I'm thinking of. There's a fantasy.
You might be thinking of Disenchantment.
No.
Is that the one?
Legend of Vox Machina.
I believe that's what I was thinking.
Oh.
Yeah, it was on Amazon Prime, and it was basically all the guys and gals from Critical Role. Look at that. I figured it out right as chat typed it out. I'm thinking of Vox Machina.
That is something I saw fan art of before I saw the actual thing.
Anyway,
There you go.
it was one of those things where it's like, oh, this is D&D, but then it's like, it's just kind of this one note, and already it's like, Band of Thieves. Let's go drink. We're in a boring city. We've released an evil, and we're gonna figure. Like, it's so
generic.
I get that, like, there's generic stuff for a reason. There's staples in media for a reason, but like, can we have something different?
The let's go get drunk as a relatability point is so played out to me.
Yeah,
they're pulling it from the MCU.
Every single adult comedy.
Yeah,
like.
they're
It's
pulling
Guardians
it from
of
the MCU. It sounds
Galaxy.
like. Yeah.
Yeah. Chris, just grow your hair out. Miss your damn hair out, for Christ's sake. You know, have a friggin' weave put in. Please try and put yourself in a period of fantasy. It's like, what the hell am I Laker gang in a castle?
Yeah,
it's
pretty
like,
much.
So annoying.
Yeah, he has like this
totally
dark
black
black
build by
leather
this.
coat. Yeah, hey, at least the dragon effects look nice. Like after Breath of the Fire had like the little steam coming out on the ground. You know, that looked nice. Yeah.
I heard some guys trashing on the way the dragons and they were like, "Oh, it looks like he's puking." I'm like, no, you don't get it. It's like dragons would usually like liquid fire, and when it made contact, it would burst into flames. That like not flames, like the way a blowtorch would work, or like a flamethrower hitting gas.
It'd burn their mouths, and they'd have to have like fire resistance. But then again, that's D&D, so they probably do.
Yeah, we're complaining about how like the CG of the dragon is, and not the fact that we have like a 20th century fiddlehead going on in the background here. like this curl is not an ancient curl. Like that's not
nerd.
what woodworkers do. What?
You really care about that kind of stuff, nerd.
If we could care about the fact that his hair is short, then I can care about these damn fiddleheads.
Orchestra nerd.
You're right on
care
point.
About this integrity of Braun, how strong it is.
We can talk masonry if you like.
So many instances.
Oh, look at those bricks. Yeah, those are just those are modern brick style to look ancient. That's very true.
Yeah, those are those concrete painted bricks. That's what those
we
are.
see those every day in modern day life.
It's
those are the wall. That's the outside wall of Walmart.
It's the plastic bath panel sheet that's made to look like bricks, so they just stick on a wall real quick, and then they paint it with flat gray, and it's like, man, you know, to be fair, it's not bad. It's not like it's the worst thing ever, but it's so repetitive. The thing they hate most is when people can't tell the difference between a dragon and a wyvern. Oh goodness. We got dragon facts coming from Dragon Roost here. Dragons and wyverns are different.
Had 4 legs or if it had just 2 legs.
Well, according to the Welsh, dragons have 4 legs.
Yeah, dragons should have 4 legs, and wyverns would only have the 2, and then they have wings instead of a second pair of legs.
I am a bigger fan, of course, of the Eastern Myth Dragon because it's water-based, and I live in Seattle, so we have a lot more water, so it was always much more interesting to me. We don't have time for fire dragons. Last time we had a fire dragon in the Northwest, our mountain exploded. We don't need that again. But I'll take a good rain any day. Let's continue.
That's right.
I know you don't.
We also need courage, magic, and you.
What?
That looks kind of weird.
Is someone who's played D&D explain that to me?
No.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
That doesn't really ring any bells. It just doesn't look very good. They did a very poor job of trying to mix the features.
Huh.
I think my dog.
What is that again? It's an owlbear.
Let's go.
Oh. She can change.
There is evil here.
An owl bear.
I'm glad he's on our
I'm pretty sure owl bears are a thing in D&D at least. I just didn't realize that she was like a transformer. That threw me off. But that also may have spoiled something. Great. Now I've been spoiled for a show that I don't care about.
What,
This
Avatar?
guy's thumb is huge. No, not Avatar. I've seen Avatar Last Airbender. Why is everything nowadays looking like a freaking Fisher Price rescue hero with these giant hands?
side.
Who needs heroes when you have these?
This one's dangerous. But whatever happens,
Who needs heroes when you have something
We'll be ready.
else?
What is it exactly that you bring to this?
I'm a planner. I make plans.
You've already made the plan, so
If the existing plan fails, I make a new plan.
you make plans that fail.
No,
He also plays the lute.
not relevant.
So we already know it's fake because they didn't have to reset their save when they encountered a mimic.
And they also didn't
Any
get
mo-
eaten the second they opened the chest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any money that the woman is stronger than him?
No, obviously
It's-
the female barbarian is the strongest character, and then the female enchanter or whatever, the druid, she's the second strongest character. Chris Pine will be emasculated and beaten down.
Yeah.
Yep.
Kicked in the groin, perhaps multiple times.
And
That's
his
a
plans will
strong
fail,
possibility.
and
Yeah.
he'll
He'll
have
be the
one.
idiot. He'll be the
He'll,
idiot.
he'll have one successful plan, like right before the finale, and then it'll be the woman to save the day.
Yeah. Oh, spoilers.
Oh no, sorry. I already predicted what's going to happen before we've even seen the first episode.
Yeah.
I just, Ragnarok was an okay Thor movie. Was
I
on
enjoyed
point.
Ragnarok.
I enjoyed it when it first came on. It's just diminishing it by the second.
Ragnarok literally
Why
only works as a
would you-
one-off. It doesn't work if every other movie is going to be like that.
Mm,
Yeah,
that's true.
yeah, exactly. I don't know. I'm still trying to wrap my head around the song and its relevance to the storyline. Do they? I mean, is love gonna save the day? Is that what we're talking about here? It's like
Doesn't it always?
Ragnarok was the actual song that was about Ragnarok. For crying out loud.
I love how people even
So
who want to watch this in my timeline are also pointing out problems. An owlbear is a monstrosity, not a beast you can wild shape into an owl. You can't wild shape into an owlbear.
That person is at least 50% based on this take.
They're like, okay, I'll watch it because it looks funny, and I like funny things that have to do with things I enjoy. But all caps.
And that owlbear is clearly a monstrosity. Like, take a look at that thing again. It's ugly.
It is quite ugly.
is it
She
an
does it multiple
owl
times.
bear or
Yeah, I
a
think
griffin bear?
they said owl.
They said
doesn't
in the
make sense
show
for there to be a
owlbear,
griffin
which is a thing I've heard of. It does. I mean, it does look like an owl.
I'm sure it exists in D&D, but I've never had one in any of my campaigns I've played. But I think Geminira has a great take. Eastern dragons are all mystical and magical. Western dragons are based on cold, hard reality.
The great dragon of the sea, in the Japanese myth, that gave the emperor the stones to control the sea, not balls, like actual physical stones. So that's not like just he had a lot of pep. Heck is it called? He then used those stones to take out the Koreans twice as they were coming in because he created a typhoon to put their ships under. So in Japan, they're literally just another another ruler, but they're the ruler of the undersea kingdom.
Yeah, there's a dragon in Journey to the West in the stone, and that's where the Monkey King gets his staff from. Is the pillar that's center of the earth, and it was in the dragon's, war room in his. And he was like, "No, I don't like this sword. I don't like this shield. I don't like this armor. Though the staff is really cool, and it's literally like a pillar the size of a sky. Sit down and puts it behind his ear, and it becomes the most powerful weapon in that cell.
It's one of my
Eastern
favorite
dragon is fascinating.
The
staff
in anime, the staff, yeah, the power pole from Dragon Ball Z. But it's made multiple incarnations, and the ones that actually keep it. I'm trying to remember. There was a show last year, I want to say, where someone had like this little earring that was like a little stick, and then eventually, when it was revealed like this person was a good fighter, they like started walking up and they grabbed their earring, and then boom, it turns into a power pole, and they just kick the shit out of somebody. And it was like, whoa, because you like, it's very common, but it's also like only done right. I freaking love it. Favorite dragon anime? 3, 2, 1, go.
Dragon Man.
Dragon Man. What? I don't. Can I do?
I don't think there's that many options really. So yeah, that's the only one I could even think of.
Browse.
Yeah, not really. I don't.
Dragon.
I'm pretty sure I've said it before. I'm not a
one or two episodes
big fan of fantasy anime.
I didn't know that. That's like 80% of anime.
I feel like he's just trying to bait a response from us to say Dragon Maid.
Does Yu-Gi-Oh count as a dragon anime? Only if Slifer the Sky Dragon arc. That's the only one that counts as a dragon. And maybe a Winged Guardian.
Oh, Blue Eyes White Dragon.
God, you're right.
Yeah, I have to say for the D&D thing, if they actually wanted me to watch their show, she would just like half shift. They didn't invent anything for that, and she would just be like mostly a girl. She would be a monster girl. Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
That's how they get me to watch their show.
What is the one about? Is it called Dragon? Well, let me see. I think Dragon Pilots is probably one of my favorite.
I guess that is another one that would count.
Yeah, Dragon Pilot, where like it's like dragons that they put armor on, and then they look like jet planes, and then you've got girls that pilot them from inside their stomach. It's really funny because they have to get eaten and puked up all the time, and it's this running gag. But it's really funny and adorable. The only two you know is Dragoneer Academy and High School XXX. Dragon Pilot, watch it. It's very fun, very silly, very sweet. But also has some good action and dogfighting.
Also, watch Dragon Maid for horny.
Or not. You could just watch Dragon Maid.
You could just watch Dragon Maid and enjoy it. It's possible.
Wait,
see a found family.
There was
a
pretty epic show, and she kept on coming back for the most exquisite stew. What was the name of that show? Oh, I had mentioned it briefly.
You say
like
exquisite stew. I think Ponyo loves ham. But that's not stew. Dragons is a genre on Annie list, so we can scroll this while we're thinking. One back for stew. I don't.
He would go in a very feminine form to the restaurant, and he would.
Oh yes. That one is Restaurant from Another World. That's because there's two of them. There's the isekai. Isekai. Oh, yeah, it's Izakaya is one of them. Yeah, so there's Isekai Izakaya, which is basically like a fun bar that's in like a medieval place, and then there's Restaurant from Another World. and it's like the door just appears. A restaurant in another world. There we go. This one. And like the door just appears randomly in the fantasy world, and if you go in the door, it takes you to the restaurant. And then there's the dragon lady who just loves the stew, and she comes and gets whole pots of it.
Yeah, she was a pretty epic.
That time I got reincarnated as a tasty stew. I feel like that could be a real thing.
I couldn't believe I did a search. We were talking about flags, and I just found out flags, and it came up with that show, and I was like, of course, this is a thing, or at least a manga.
Right.
Blows my mind.
Well, I mean, the fact that it's a manga that actually got an anime. I love Food Wars. Dragon Ruse. I love that show. I really liked seasons 1 and 2. After that, it got a little bit like, here's the reality of like cooking and cooking competition, and both like on screen and off screen when two people are competing, because people in kitchens will compete all the time, and that's that most of the time you win because the other person messed up. And in Food Wars, they switched like season 3, the third plate kind of onward. It was like, I win because I used the rare Himalayan peppercorn that nobody's ever heard of, but enhances the flavor by 2%, you know, or some bullshit like that. And it was never like the actual cooking or the way they did things. It was just like, I knew this one thing, this one ingredient, this one prep style that made the difference. And it just became kind of a, well, I'm not going to be able to figure out what they did different, versus in the beginning it was like, oh, I can kind of think through what he's going to do differently, how he's going to break down the proteins, how he's going to make it like blend, he's going to mix some acid in, you know, he's going to make like a really delicious thing that's going to blow these people's socks off. I could kind of follow, I could kind of track, but once you get like deeper into Food Wars, it's just like, ugh.
Do they care about plating at all?
Like, they never really
say
say they do, but there's a couple times that they like the plating actually becomes like an issue, but I don't know that they really say like, oh, the plating was bad. But one of the competitions, a girl served kaiseki style, so she served the meal in a bunch of small individualized boxes, and part of why she lost is everything she had on the plate was like separated in these little individual courses, and while each course was good, they were all like very scientific and meticulous, whereas the other dish, everything sort of blended together. So kind of they talk about plating, but they don't talk about the beauty of the plating that I recognize.
Yeah, plating is massively important to serving food correctly, because plating really just leads how people are going to eat the dish, how it looks to people, and just the plating alone makes the food more appealing and makes you more interested in eating it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You know, obviously
and
the
it can ruin a dish.
Important. Yeah.
Like you're saying, like if you plate wrong, suddenly you got mushy ass toast.
Yeah, like you plate wrong, it's kind of bland. It doesn't stand out. When you have like notably good plating, people will see it and they're like, ooh, like, wow, this looks fancy.
I do get really tired of the fancy plating where you watch some of these cooking shows and someone does the thing where they scoop up some kind of thick sauce and like slam it on the plate and then just smear the spoon in like a half circle.
I hate
and
that.
I'm like, you could just have
like
a chafing
trash.
dish, a dip. Like, why do we have to smear it across the plate?
Put a tiny cup there. Give it a tiny little cup that you can pour out of, or just like put a little bit like in a place that's easily accessible. Something better than
the
that.
ones that are really successful to me are when they do like a you use like a clam shell or an oyster shell, or use some shell of whatever you're cooking with to be the dip thing. Like I watched a guy fill a shrimp head with a truffle paste, and so that was the condiment, was in this fried shrimp head.
Kind of interesting, but it's also kind of disgusting.
Hey, you got a truffle bomb inside a fried shrimp head? I'll eat it.
It probably tastes good, but it's not visually appealing.
I guess. What, you scared to look your food in the eye?
Oh, I mean, I eat whole trout. I
Oh
don't
my
eat the whole
gosh.
thing,
That's
but
a
I
thing that
cook the
doesn't
whole
exist in
thing.
the rest of the world.
Just like cooking the whole fish and then eating it.
Slamming the whole trout in a fry pan and pulling it out. Yep.
Oh yeah.
A little bit of suicide sauce, a little bit of ketchup.
And it's just
Nothing
easy
wrong
to
with
do
that.
it it's just easy to do it like that. It's like, why not?
Oh yeah. It's
Yeah, I would imagine that
my dad
tastes. I would imagine it tastes cooked it in the scales. It's almost like it's wrapped in its own natural tip because the skin is reflective.
I also
it's
think
ambiently reflective.
a lot of people don't like eating the skin. I actually like eating the trout skin.
Yeah,
just
and
fine.
with trout, the scales are so soft. You actually don't scale it when you do that. You just fry it. You just slap it in the pan. So you leave scales and everything because they crisp up and then they just become a good crunch on the outside with
I was gonna say texture is definitely
pinkish meat.
Yeah, texture's a little bit different. Some people don't really want the texture and they'll take it off, but I have no problem with that. I like it.
Yep.
We used to fight over the tail because it's like a giant potato
Yeah.
chip.
You do have to cook it just right because it needs to get cooked enough. If it's not cooked enough, then it just tastes like garbage. But yeah, usually you'll crisp it up and it'll be very nice.
Yeah, what kind of change the way it fries as well? Because there's this whole practice in ancient Greece where they would use vinegar so that they could clad statues in raw ivory because it was like a heavy blanket and then it would harden back up again. So on any fish could be softened by a process like that where sauteing and then frying would alter the course of the scales. But that's speculative.
Yeah, I basically never turned down trout for dinner.
Nope. Nope, never would. Rainbow
It's also
trout.
a classic American tradition, I'd say.
I feel like it's the Northwest because I've been to other places where people go fishing, and they're like gross, and then you're like, what? And then you catch a brown trout and you try to do it with their trout, and you're like, oh, what has this trout been eating? Poop all day? Gross. Like our trout has like a pink to it because it's been eating bugs and stuff, and so you can actually see that the meat has that little bit more protein enrichment to it. Whereas like some places, I don't know what their fish eat, but it doesn't eat anything good enough to make it taste good.
Well, I mean, I'd probably put on a similar level to like Southern barbecue, you know. Maybe not on the same level, but a similar type of tradition in terms of it's a regional one.
Yeah,
it might be a regional one, but it's still good.
Like everybody can do it, but only a few people do it well. Like bourbon.
I was gonna do a different
That
segment.
bourbon...
I was gonna talk about like medical shows because I was watching the guy got isekai to the world and he became a pharmacist, and he's probably gonna become a pharmacist as well later on in the show based on the like preview bits. Because I'm not really excited for it to turn to like a normal isekai because he has outrageously overpowered magic abilities.
Oh,
I think the interesting idea of him just like trying to just save people, I like that better as like somebody trying to heal, not to hurt.
I like those. I like the isekai where they take away the superpower and they're just like, you just have whatever skills you had from your last life. I think that's a fun type of isekai.
I think I might have mentioned this before, but the last one I watched was a girl who Saintess, or she was reincarnated. She's a saint with like holy healing powers. I'll look it up really quick.
Incarnated saint. Oh, the saint's power is infinite.
Yes, that would be it, I believe.
Has there been a postal worker isekai? There has been Rail Wars, and I remember them delivering mail in Rail Wars.
I liked Rail Wars. It was good.
Rail Wars is so much fun.
But I also like trains, so.
I have an
Saints
uncle that likes
Makara's
trains.
omnipotent is basically a reverse harem, but she's a healer. She actually doesn't have, as far as I know, she doesn't have any like strong magical abilities except for like light magic, basically, which is only effective against monsters or whatever. Yeah, I found that one interesting enough. It was pretty decent. And I'd say this one would hopefully be more like that. Although it seems to be gonna have more of the traditional isekai battle elements.
I'm gonna say kind of. There's manga for mail order stuff in another world.
I'm sure there will be soon enough, like an Amazon delivery driver isekai.
Oh god. God, that would be the worst.
Amazon fulfillment in another world. Amazon figures out how to send people to another world to sell them crap they don't need.
Yeah. Accidentally gets a shipment, and because of the person ordering through a portal that nobody knew existed, and he's the only one, he's just like, oh, this castle before, and you know what and it just winds there. It's just this one driver. No matter where he goes, he's able to go into this other. I could see that happening where Amazon is completely unaware that but because of some magic, they really want this item. But
that could work. He could be like delivering to like good people and evil people. Like, oh, here's your destroyer of worlds, sir. There you go.
I feel like there's a very easy basis, easy or a simple thing to base a comedy manga on.
In Mabinogi, owls drop our mail on our head. All I'm finding now is just a picture of Truck-kun, and it says Isekai Delivery Service, which is a lot more Amazon to me than Amazon actually delivering anything.
Yeah, Amazon actually just killing people for sport. No, because they got paid by other worlds to send people to them, just like the Isekai Transporter that we talked about. I think we actually talked about Isekai Transporter last week a little bit.
Yeah, we brought it up a hair. Gate, but instead of the military, it's Amazon. You know that's how it really work.
Yeah, that is true. That's what happened.
There's no way you stop, Google, Microsoft, Amazon from not being the first people into the other world.
They're gonna set up goblin call centers.
You should call. Hey, I need to return this item. What's the problem with your item? Are you a goblin? No. Where are you right now? I'm in
Delaware
town.
No, she just says, I live in South Florida. It's like, oh yeah, that makes sense. I have a Cuban accent.
Oh, wait a minute. No, you're right. Okay. Sorry, sir. I didn't mean to confuse you with a goblin. Happens all the time.
Oh, I do. Oh man, I want to see that now.
That would be a GOP, right? A goblin of a GOC, goblin of color.
GOC, a goblin of a
Green
person of
skin
goblin.
color.
You know, it's actually Castaway was a movie that used Federal Express as they probably paid for that movie. The one with Tom Hanks where he winds up on an island.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically a gigantic FedEx commercial, right? I mean, the whole movie almost a FedEx commercial, but I could easily see Amazon jumping on board with some.
You've reached the Clockwork Elf hotline. How may I help you? You're one of them goblin people.
Hello, my fellow Gabas.
What's up, Gabos?
Oh, sorry, that was offensive.
Hey, you dark elf. That's our word.
where's it? So slip this into Greek in a second. We need Michael.
Yeah.
I got Michael's in around, yeah. He works on Thursdays.
What's up, my G words?
He cracks me up. He cracks me up. The other day when he was just laying down the law in the chat, I was like,
Do we have a goblins as a second-class citizen anime that isn't just like Goblin Slayer, where they're evil second-class citizens?
Yeah, just like a slice of life thing. Just like that's what that would be. Just be a slice of life thing. Just like how the world's intermingled, like literally modern day Earth, and gets
You might be a
just like
goblin, but at least you're not Greek. Grandma, I want to introduce you to my new boyfriend, but I have to warn you, he's a good. A Greek? No, a goblin. Oh, phew.
Sort of there for a second.
Maybe the one where Skimono, where the guy goes to the other world and like the goddess of that world hates him because he's ugly, and so she curses him to only speak monster. And so he can talk to the monsters, but he doesn't really know how to speak English, and so he creates sort of like a paradise for all of the monster races. That might be the closest we have to.
That sounds a lot like the time I got reincarnated as slime. I mean, no, obviously not.
Oh yeah,
But there's definitely similar things that happen in terms of he just like creates a country for monsters, and he can talk to monsters just fine.
but that's not really a thing in anime, right? We don't have any, do we? I mean, I'm trying to recall off the top of my head. It happens to have one of the girls as a goblin, or one of the boys. Maybe
Just one of the
Soul Eater?
boys.
Soul Eater, no.
That's funny. It
Trying to
reminds me of
think.
like Ball Buddy comics. The guy on Twitter. He makes some pretty funny stuff. Most of the stuff he makes is just elves being mad that people don't have sex with them, which is just an interesting juxtaposition. People don't like them because they're just so thirsty and always want somebody to have sex with them.
Oh yes, the elves and the goblins one.
Yeah,
Is that what
thirsty
you're talking
elves,
about?
and then everybody wants the
Run
goblins.
for it! It's the elves.
And then everyone wants the goblin because they just don't care. They'll go along with whatever. They're up for it, and they don't make a fuss. They're all chill.
Okay, so there are the positive goblins, of course, from Slime Isekai, where they transform into their like higher version, and then they can help out. We have Gobta, but like you can't search for like anime and goblin without seeing nothing but Goblin Slayer, one picture of Slime Isekai, and one picture of what was this show called? They get like isekai, but everybody sucks. They're all just like themselves, but in an isekai. Grimgar of Fantasy and Ash, or as I call it, Grimgar of Fantasy and Ass, where they're just like normal kids that are isekai'd, and they like suck it. Like it takes all of them to kill one goblin. It's a good show.
That's kind of funny. Yeah.
And what's nice about it is it's not like, oh, they barely killed one goblin, and then by the end of it, they're killing like hordes of goblins. It's like, no, by the end of it, they still suck. They still have to work together to kill one goblin. It feels like a Soul Level 1 run in Dark Souls. It's a very, very good anime. There's a goblin VTuber? No.
Oh, yes, there is. That's true. Yeah. I have seen her before. Then again, I've seen basically every VTuber, so it's not.
She's basically a green elf.
That's not surprising. Yeah.
Hold on, let me make sure this page isn't gonna bite me in the ass. Okay, I'm gonna open this image in a new tab. Here we go. Goblin VTuber. Here we go. Her name is Honey Goblin. Honey Gob, the VTuber.
Just a little gobbo.
Just a little gobbo.
Never seen her before.
Yeah, I don't watch many VTubers, to be honest.
No.
Last time I saw, like, clicked on a VTuber video because I was interested in it, it was because one of the Japanese VTubers was trying to say English words, and one of the words was pipe. But Japanese doesn't do long or soft vowel sounds. They only have the one sound for each sort of consonant vowel pair that they have. So she's like, beep, 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 because they can't say pipe. That's not like they would have to be like pipe.
They have to learn how that actually is pronounced. They have to relearn speaking basically to say it correctly.
Yeah, because their alphabet's so different. But it made me laugh, and that was probably 3 years ago. Just not big on that VTuber scene.
I assume that was probably Kazune AI.
No, it was a pink one.
Was it Kiori?
No, Curious.
Whoa! Look at the VTuber knowledge dropping here, Pop Culture. You want to tell us about all your VTuber knowledge?
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Doxed.
Yeah, doxed.
The police are coming for you.
I watched Kiori because she was learning English on Duolingo, and I thought, yeah, that's pretty cute. She's trying to learn English.
It's Corone. This
one.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Well, she's not pink.
That one. Oh, of course. I know that one.
Yeah, Corona is not pink, so it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Oh, there's a pink heart in the background of it.
This English name, this.
Yeah, Corona is adorable.
This English name. Pipe. Pipe.
If you like this one, you'll like so many more Corona clips. There's so many.
That's literally the last VTuber thing I've seen. No, I have not seen VTubers saying the N-word. I have not seen that.
Yeah, that's well, I'm not gonna say it, but you know, that would be Miko Deo.
The only VTuber you know is Momo? How does nobody know Keys in the Eye? That's the only one's name I know off the top of my head.
I know the name of every VTuber in whole life.
Oh, wait. No, Neanners.
Wow.
Neanners is the other one I know.
Yeah, she later did become a VTuber, yes.
What do you mean later became a VTuber? Was she not a VTuber?
Yeah, she wasn't originally.
What?
She just did videos on YouTube.
Hold on. What? Jim and Nere out here.
From Jim and Nere.
That's some spice.
There's definitely some reasons to not like her. That's yeah. She just did memes originally, and then much later she did streaming. Like
she was a 4chaner.
Yeah, 11 years. Her first YouTube video that is still like up was from 11 years ago. Oh, I could bring up the. I could bring up the one that she actually wanted deleted from the internet. Maybe it's not appropriate for stream, but
maybe it's not appropriate. That's fine. This is the equivalent of Friday. We can.
Oh no, I mean I'm talking like YouTube wouldn't like it, but yeah, I can bring it up.
Is it on YouTube?
Yeah, and YouTube.
Well, then how YouTube has to like it if
no,
it's
I'm
on
talking
YouTube.
YouTube doesn't like in terms of. I don't think it's age restricted, but you know, yeah.
Yeah, across the board, Blaine. I mean, I've seen some other guys use stuff that was totally approved on. It was a bunch of guys watching it instead of a bunch of girls. It suddenly becomes something else.
Yeah, I'll link it to your Blaine
bizarre.
Escape Corner on Discord for like just a link.
Okay.
Pomp.
That's hilarious. Jim and Nere, are you a big VTuber fan?
Yeah, it says re-upload on it because she took it down or she private or whatever.
Your vitriol makes me giggle. Okay, let me see what this is. Oh gosh, it's like 2 minutes.
Yeah, it's a full song.
So, Pop Culture, you remember the old D&D series on television? The old D&D series?
Yeah, I watched it when I was a kid, and I also bought it on DVD later on. So we watched it, me and my wife.
There is an incredible car that is so on point. It's a live action version of the TV show. On point, like perfect. channel was watching it. It was so perfect, it's accounted for. Like everybody's there. It's insane. I forget. It's a Kia commercial or a Mazda commercial. I forget now, but it was done not
like the
too
song
long ago.
Oh, I'm about it.
You can play this on stream if you want.
I don't know that I will. I don't think I will.
It's not age restricted. I double checked.
I'm gonna just veto it in the. I'm pretty sure we won't get the video taken down, but I don't want to sit here for 2 minutes listening to a song about a little sister having butt sex with her brother.
Oh my
Wow.
god.
So yeah, you can kind of see why she didn't want that to be seen. But yeah, that's the kind of stuff she used to make. That's the kind of content she used to make. That's Neanners. That's Neanners singing that.
Yeah, no, I can tell. I can tell because she has that voice that kind of reminds me of that that Fox artist YouTuber. Like I was really into like storytime YouTubers for a while there. And there's one of them. She's got such a tiny little voice. It's such a very, very, very tiny voice.
Oh yeah,
anyway,
I hear you're talking about, yeah.
And so she had Neanners has that very similar like high register voice. That was that was hilarious. That was hilarious. But it also I'm not gonna play that on stream. Yeah, Peter Venkman site. That is the appropriate reaction
yes,
to
Wolfie
what I
Chew,
just
believe
saw.
you're correct. I just don't remember
But
her name.
yeah, I've puked all my puke long ago, so I don't have any left to puke.
Oh yeah,
Can I put the link in chat? Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay. Yeah, and yes, Wolfie Chew. She's the one that has like super tiny voice. Like
just take you right to that.
Like the opposite of like James Earl Jones. We need to keep his voice forever because it's amazing. But like Wolfie Chew, we also need to keep her voice forever to have somebody who's always going to voice anyone under 10. And then we don't have to have child slavery anymore.
I can take you also back to one of my favorite. I liked her before she did anything like that, which is Senzawa.
Senzawa?
Yeah.
Is this one I can play on stream?
Yes, you can play her stuff on screen, basically. And some of them maybe not, but most of them pretty much yes. Like I'll give you her was also pretty popular. It's a whole song as well.
Again with the songs.
Yeah, this one's actually not really controversial, except maybe for you. It might be controversial to you.
I pull up a 20-second little beep, 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 and it's like, oh, I got a 2-minute video, I got a 1-minute video, I watch this was 20 minutes, and then suddenly the whole stream is just us watching other people's videos. All right, you ready? Okie dokie boomer. Silly gif.
Too.
Oh, I know this song.
Yeah. Yeah, she was the person.
This is where this song actually comes from?
Yep, this is the original.
I freaking love this song. I kind of hate that the entire song got wrapped up in that one chick who that just became about her singing that song for like 2 seconds. And then all of a sudden it was like, oh, look, now she made money. Isn't she such a hypocrite? And it's like, I mean, I guess. But I freaking love that song. It pops. Spanx? What do songs do nowadays?
So ridiculous. If it's not to make money or to become celebrity in some fashion or another, it's chastises somebody or shames somebody for doing that. It's ridiculous. Come on. That little voice of hers, though, is just...
Yeah, and she's nowhere anymore. She's nowhere anyway. Like, she's tried to do other stuff, but it's just like nobody's paying any mind to her anymore. Anyway, she's a one-hit wonder.
Yeah,
gone.
I don't really care about her anymore.
Yeah.
TikTok's a weird thing. I still don't think I fully I grasp it in that like I see stuff and I can kind of go backwards with like, oh, I can kind of see how this became a popular thing, but I can't like go forward with it the way I kind of go. Like you can watch a video or something, you're like, wow, this video is amazing. It's gonna
And
get a
it's just
bajillion
YouTube.
views.
It's YouTube condensed down to what YouTube wants to become, which is just it feeds you a feed of recommended videos and you just keep swiping.
Yeah.
That's all it is. It's even more pure in more pure form.
Whatever keeps you on the channel, keeps you in the ecosystem longer.
Yep.
What on TikTok?
Yeah, TikTok. It's just it's pure algorithm, basically.
Yeah, and I would go so far as to say that it would probably things so that other information comes at you instead. I could see like that. It certainly would go with the meter, which is not interested in showing off any individual, or interested in showing you the multitude of ambitions.
Yeah, and you always just kind of wonder like how do I make because like I have like a TikTok that I made for the escape corner because I was like, I might post something. I think I posted one TikTok. Like I just don't go on TikTok because none of it is interesting to me. And I just don't know how to make things interesting to me. Like obviously it's like on YouTube I search for things I like, and then if I like the videos I subscribe, and then all of a sudden I've got a pretty good recommended video stream come in. Like it works pretty nicely, and I feel like it doesn't matter what I do on TikTok, it's always boring to me. Like I'm like, this isn't. Yeah,
I mean, that's why young people like TikTok, and that's why I sent you that video. It's the perfect video from Senzawa to summarize you.
I guess, yeah. You're right.
Endorphin.
You got me. You got me right where it
has big TikTok energy, man.
It does.
It's the younger generation is just on an endorphin constantly while watching TikTok. It's I don't know what that's going to breed. I mean, I judgment on futurisms, but what kind of a culture is that you're continuously swiping towards something that gives you that high? It's totally different than the vibe we all grew up with, where it was we were switching. We had specific recommendation lists or something like that.
Or you just had to wait. You watched a show because it was between two shows that you really wanted to watch. You couldn't get to the show you wanted to watch. You had to wait for that show to start. Like that. The only thing I can think of is like if I take somebody like if Michael Snap shows up and I take him fishing, like what would happen? Would his brain just freeze? Would it just cease to function for like 6 hours or however long we're out there throwing line? Or would they really be invested and excited about it? I don't know.
Honestly, a little bit more for my generation with like the internet coming up and stuff. It would be that we'd recommend each other like, oh, YouTubers like this or this specific viral YouTube video, this specific like website, like this little flash game, like on Armor Games or whatever, something like that. Stuff like that. We'd recommend each other stuff, videos, channels, and games. I didn't know I was telling a good joke there. But.
No, not you, Gemini Ray.
Yeah.
You're busy talking about how the generations are functioning, and then Gemini is over here talking about CCP cannon fodder. I honestly thought that that TikTok would die out as a service long before we ever had any FCC like talking about regulating it.
Nah, we gotta kill it. That's the only way.
It blew my mind that it's still around because I watched Musical.ly come and kind of die. Like it disappeared for a bit and then it came back.
That's because it was a really
TikTok.
dumb. It was a really stupid format. Musical.ly was a really stupid format. Vine.
But it's the same format, isn't it?
No, Musical.ly had slightly different stuff. I had a similar thing where you could jump in and like do a thing on somebody else's video, but like the platform marketing wasn't as cool. Like Musical.ly, that's kind of shit. The Vine was better, but it just like it was not monetized well. TikTok, they got best of both worlds. They fixed the problem with Vine.
The hell do you
Yeah.
monetize TikTok? I want to make money on there.
I think it just serves you ads in between the other little videos. That's what I assume it does.
Doesn't make me money.
Well, I assume you
Apparently,
get.
Instagram can monetize if you make Instagram reels.
I actually
and you
don't
really
know
need that
exactly
much.
how the monetization on TikTok works, but I guarantee it's monetized. There's no way it wouldn't be getting this kind of views if it wasn't.
Oh.
Yeah, they basically they rebranded it and
sense.
made it better.
Wait, what is our age difference, Tyrannos? I'm turning 32 in a month.
I'm 24.
You're 24. Okay, you are in that kind of like halfway.
Yeah, I'm in the little halfway area where the internet was. As I was growing up, internet was already becoming a big thing.
It was ubiquitous for you, whereas I learned it.
I mean, even though I had access to internet basically ubiquitously, I didn't end up using it that much because I didn't have that much computer access overall.
Right, you still had like computer labs as a separate class, and not just computers in the classroom.
I didn't have handheld phones. I didn't have an iPhone.
Right.
Well, you didn't, but did the rich kid have an iPhone?
Maybe I don't remember exactly what year the iPhone came out. 2005, 6.
Earlier. I think
was
I
it
was
08?
in middle school.
Yeah, it was 06, 08.
Okay,
where it was internet capable. Where it became a real.
The first iPhone came out in 2007. And did the first iPhone have pure internet access?
I think it was only 2G it had. It didn't even have 3G.
Yeah, because I had an iPhone 3G.
Okay, iPhone 3G 2008. Okay. So yeah, I don't think the rich kids actually had it at the time. It would probably be more like 2010 when everybody was starting to get a phone.
Interesting.
Because I would assume like
maybe
even
I
then,
was
like
just
the
surrounded
iPhone
by
just
rich kids
came
who all
out,
had razors.
So yeah, they probably had like nice phones, but they might not have had the iPhone yet until like the next year after.
Gotcha.
2009, 2010, and then all the rich kids had it. And then a couple years later, all the like middle class kids and stuff had it.
Because when I graduated high school, you were entering middle school.
Yeah.
That's a weird age range if you think about it. Like when you're in high school and you look at like a middle school kid and they're like half your height and you're like, how was I ever that tiny? I don't remember being like a little kid.
You don't remember looking up to your parents and being like towering over you?
Yeah, but then now it's like you're 25, but I'm sure if we were like out at a bar, it would be kind of hard to tell which of us was specifically older, right?
Yeah, I would say I don't look that dissimilar to you. Most people would probably assume I'm younger, but that's just some of the like facial skin texture.
I take it as a compliment.
Yeah.
I was getting ID'd at 7-Eleven up until I was about 29 years old. It's a strange period between 25 and 35 where you just can't tell.
Yeah.
Except
It's
maybe
funny,
if somebody's married.
Oh, that was because you're buying alcohol there. We can't buy alcohol at 7-Eleven here.
It's really funny. I have a coworker like a new coworker recently.
No, none. They don't sell alcohol in 7-Elevens in Canada. No, you got to go to the liquor store or the cold beer and wine store.
That's true. Some states have it that way as well.
In Georgia, it was the same.
You have a cold beer and wine store though? Like that separation is strange to me.
Yep, cold beer and wine store.
In Georgia, it
government
was
liquor store
regulated.
Yeah. We were state regulated on liquor for a long time, but the Northwest has always been the microbrew and home winery capital of America. So, you're not gonna stop us from brewing in the basement. So why bother? But we recently opened up with the liquor, so now it's private, and every store that can afford a license has it.
Oh yeah.
But then you go to a place like Oklahoma, and it's like any beer that's over 4% can be sold. It's over 4%, but still classified as beer. Can be sold in a grocery store, but has to be kept at room temperature. So nobody buys like a cold one and cracks it on the way to the car, I guess, because that's what stops an alcoholic, is it not being a cold one, I guess. Or like even Texas, I think, still has like separate liquor stores everywhere, and I'm just like,
probably.
Isn't this Texas? Like, what's going on?
Texas is also heavily Baptist, I should say, specifically heavily Baptist Texas.
There's a whole section of the South. after the 30s, they never stopped regulating. It was the only one allowed to sell. And I remember that it freaked me out in Georgia because I came down to Georgia. It was like everything the television said.
Where's the alcohol?
Yeah, it was. You couldn't get it in the supermarket. You couldn't get it at the drugstore. You couldn't get it at any facilities. But they were fully stocked. They had everything. So I don't know if it's still like that, but the South does that.
Well, the weird one to me then is like I know the Texas and the Oklahoma law is the best. In Oklahoma, if you are a liquor store that's serving alcohol, you cannot serve food. So you can't go into a liquor store and buy gin and vermouth and olives to make yourself a martini. You have to get the gin and vermouth, and you have to go to a grocery store to get like your martini olives. The salt rim for your margarita, you can't buy that. You can't buy the limes. You can't buy any sort of food. Asparagus for your Bloody Marys if you're a degenerate. Like it's such a strange rule.
You can't even buy the burgers for your Bloody Mary either.
Oh, and my Cornish game hen that I'm gonna. What if I want a brewski with my Slurpee? Well, don't go to Canada, I guess. I can't believe I didn't notice that.
Yeah, it's like talking about the age thing.
Regulation.
Yeah, I was just gonna talk about. I had a new coworker. She's like early 20s or something. She looks like she's 16. Her skin is like so fair and smooth. I was like, wow. So what do you like to do for your hobbies? And she's like, I play video games. It's like, oh yeah, that makes sense. She just plays video games all day. You
found a lolly in the wild.
She's not actually smaller. I think she's like normal size. Her just skin is just like pure as the German snow. Because she doesn't see any
Slurpees
sun.
are not already perfect. They need a nice light brewski, specifically light beer, like a Rainier or I guess Coors Light or maybe a Coors Banquet, something that's going to be bright. Make that thing into a slushy shandy. Woo, baby. I'm not an alcoholic, I promise you.
Have another drink.
I watched your brief night, and I think you might be. There's a possibility. You came up you had like 4 websites, and you were disagreeing with the bourbon, new bourbon inside and out. It was kind of cracking me up a little bit.
That's why Blaine has a sign, so he doesn't drink alone.
Yeah, you
I
gotta
think
sometimes.
Blaine lied about working at a gun store. He actually worked at a liquor store.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, we always had a joke that we would open because right when I was working at the gun store, the rules changed in Washington, and you could apply for a pot license and be a distributor, right? And we always joked about opening like a liquor store in the back of the gun shop. And then all of a sudden it was like, oh, we can do pot and tobacco. And so then we'll be the full ATF store. Like it'll just be a one-stop shop.
Nice.
I feel like they might not sell a permit to alcohol for a gun range.
With a drive-through. That would be awesome.
You think that. But then you just lease a section of the warehouse to the different company, and that different company then gets the permit.
Oh yeah, we're not associated with them.
That's right.
So
It's separated
share employees.
by real estate.
Exactly.
That would be funny.
Exactly.
Let me get a Glock, some ammo from my AR-15, and whatchamacallit? I need to get an eighth of that Kush while you're at it.
Yeah, I need a pack of those edibles up there. Those brownies any good?
I got a pack of shotgun shells and a balaclava. I'm gonna make a withdrawal from the bank later.
Mm-hmm.
Can you give me one of those Swiss cigars too?
Groovy time at the shooting range, man.
I nerd out on most things that I get interested in. It's like I've got a brain that is like hyper focused. So when I get really excited about like a certain type of like alcohol, I'll just like learn all kinds of weird shit about it and be like, oh wow, that's interesting. Oh, that's cool. That's where it came from. That's what it is. So like bourbon is one of those for me. Shandy is like you finish mowing the yard or something and you have like some frozen strawberries, you blend those up, splash in a little yuzu, and then pour in a Coors. Whew! That'll rehydrate you without hydrating you at all.
You know, I feel like putting a Coors in anything is a bad idea.
I never got so blitzed. I ever had I'm probably telling that it's the wrong name for the drink, but you drop the alcohol into a beer. Drop a shot of
Bulldog,
a Boilermaker.
A Boilermaker.
Oh, there you
I
go.
never got so safe. It was like, what is this thing? I mean, I had 2 of them, and it was like so bad. Does it do something to the alcohol? What it oxygenates the alcohol or something?
So there are 2 ways that I think you can make a good beer liquor pairing or beer alcohol pairing, and that's it's called a solmek. It's a Korean drink, and so you take a light beer like a Kirin or a Height, or any of those Asian sort of just like grocery store beers that you'll find, and then you mix it with some Korean shochu or soju, depending on who's translating it, and so you have like this alcohol that's sort of like not quite as strong as vodka, has a little bit of a rice taste to it. So it's like if you had a gradient from sake to vodka, sochu is like right in the middle. And so you mix sochu with a really light beer, and it sweetens the beer. It's very weird how it tricks your brain into thinking that you're now having like a very kind of a sweet barley drink. They're freaking delicious. And every time I go to KBBQ, that's usually what we get with the big Korean barbecue stuff. Will be one of those Someks. Irish car bombs are good but offensive. And then sake bombs. So you drop sake into a beer. But I think if you do like a hard alcohol, like an actual like 40 proof or higher, or not 40 proof, 40% or higher alcohol, it really does mess with the beer, and suddenly you're in a weird place real fast. Like if you want to drink something that's like not full alcohol but also more than a beer, like just make like a Long Island or something fun like that. Like don't mess around with like, I dropped a shot in my beer. I think that's just the effect of like, I dropped something in there, woohoo, and you're going for it.
Yeah. You could almost, it's a challenge drink.
Exactly. Never have a cement mixer, no matter how much someone convinces you that it's a good drink.
Yep, exactly.
I don't know anything about alcohol.
It curdles in your mouth and hardens.
Yeah.
Yikes.
It will make you throw up.
Yeah, for me, I think the only beers, maybe I've tried more, but the only 2 I remember trying is like Coors, I think Banquet, I assume, and like Corona is like, I hate the taste of hops. I'm never drinking any of this.
Oh, interesting.
I don't like
a really
bitter things,
hazy.
and I despise hops. Really,
I like a really hazy IPA. That like you can't see through it. It's so cloudy and unfiltered, and that's but only when I'm smoking meats. Got a brisket, got some ribs, got something where you got like a nice beefy flavor with like that sweet sauce on it. Like a hazy IPA just kind of cuts through all of that. And we have a lot of really good local breweries that'll make those. But I'm not a huge beer guy, as much as I have just been talking about different beers.
Yeah, it's been a long.
Yeah, I feel like I'd prefer drinking literally any other type of alcohol over beer.
I still can't believe you don't have alcohol in a 7-Eleven.
You're still thinking about that. You're just thinking about it, like,
I'm wondering what you do with half the shelves.
Yeah, I know, right? Like, because pretty much all the gas stations I ever see, it's like they have an entire back wall of beer.
A whole wall of coolers full of beer.
It's all soft drinks, pop, Gatorade.
But we have that too. Like, do you just have half the size of a 7-Eleven?
Yeah,
they probably do. They probably do. That makes sense.
I feel like when I've been up here in Canada, it's been normal sized.
Yeah, well, you've been up here. You know what it's like. You just got to look a little harder next time you're up here.
I guess. I also, again, I go to Little Hong Kong, so
right.
Yeah. It's a little bit different of a location. So maybe they just serve stuff because everybody's handshaking with everybody.
I only
Yeah,
went
it
to
could be.
Canada once, BC. I remember it was during like near Christmas time. There was like a little light lit up some lit up area with a bunch of trees, and we actually had to cross a rope bridge, or I believe it was a steel like suspension bridge to get there.
Oh, you went to like either Lynn Canyon or the Capilano Suspension Bridge?
Let me look it up.
Okay.
Suspension bridge,
Probably.
because I remembered looking at it.
Like pond water? Yes. I like my beer
It's
like I
still
like
kind
pond water.
It blows my mind that a gas station, something R2, would be serving alcohol. I mean, you just think of the ridiculous
Happy motoring.
cross
Here's your six
context
pack.
of that. It's hard. I mean, you 10 years ago, you couldn't get away with driving a car. If you got caught with that, you'd get like seriously fined. And yet, the selling booze, like whole bottles of wine.
I still put it in my trunk when I buy it.
Oh yeah, it was definitely the Canyon. It was the Canyon Lights, so it was the Capilano Suspension Bridge Park. Yeah, that's where I went.
Okay.
Yeah, that area was really nice. It was very pretty.
Yeah, that's. I used to live in that area, so I'm quite familiar with it.
Okay. Wait. When abouts?
I moved away from there in 2004.
Did you ever go to the Richmond night market?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. What was it like back then? Was it fun?
It was pretty fun. You pick up some snacks and wander around and see all the bootleg stuff they have for sale there. Right? All the stuff that's like, oh yeah, look at that. That's definitely bootleg.
We went from shows to food to beer. Yeah, welcome, Dragon Ruse. Welcome to the Escape Corner. We cover all forms of escapism here: food escapism, beer escapism.
Also, yeah, Blaine, how would people be able to join the stream?
Sorry, what?
How would people be able to join the stream, Blaine?
They can go to locals down in the description. I finally clicked post, so you can actually.
I was gonna say is like every time I go into your locals thing, there's no actual link there. I got here just because I like typed in restream in my search bar. Is this is the last page we went to?
Wait, really?
Yeah,
that
it
worked?
lets you do that. Yeah, How do you think I got it here? You didn't give me a link.
I thought I gave you.
Serranos the hacker here.
I thought I just went down Twitter and was like sending links around. Oh no, I totally didn't send you a link.
Yeah,
I just remember because like an hour into stream, I looked and I was like, why is it saving my locals page? Oh, I didn't post it yet, so I clicked post real quick.
So yeah, next time you'll post it at the start of the stream.
Sake flavored shaved ice? What? Hold on, I had
that was one alcohol thing I actually did try that I liked. It was I think it was only just vodka mixed with like some flavoring stuff on shaved ice. It's like I didn't take a stand of alcohol, so it's like
Yeah. Anybody surprised by this conversation, since Blaine has openly admitted he is governed by his stomach.
True.
His stomach dictates where he travels in the world. Yep. It's just...
Hey, I'll travel for a good meal too.
Meanwhile, Mrs. Flu is hitting talks with Jerky. What does that mean?
I know what that means. That's some big lore right there.
I don't know anything about that. I deny knowledge.
Hey Blaine, I'm gonna have to call it a night.
Mist. Oh, you got?
I'm gonna have to call it a night. Yep, I got work tomorrow.
Well, let's go to sleep.
Yeah, it's actually a day that I'll have to cut it short as well, but not quite yet. So wonderful to have you, Kampai Pop Culture.
Thanks, everybody. It was great talking to you guys. See you next time.
Good night.
Okay, at Disney World, we have Sake Mists. at Epcot or one of these places where they spray sake on blood orange, chocolate cherry, or coffee shaved ice.
Why coffee?
I don't know, but none of those sound actually tasty.
I find it always surprising how tasty something can be. I'm going to lay something. When I was a kid, I used to put mustard on slices of lettuce, like from the head, and eat it like it was so good. I can't tell you how good it was, but
like a ham sandwich
fruit
without any of the ham.
It was literally like you cut a head of lettuce and I butter the half with mustard and then eat it.
Oh,
it was
butter's
it was
a verb
delicious.
in this situation.
Yes, the action of putting with
the action of buttering, not putting butter on your lettuce.
No. Lathering the head of the lettuce with just delicious. But I'm always surprised at that weird combination. God, there's a lot of vendors in Los Angeles that do and they'll put chili pepper on the fruit cup or vinegar. Oh boy, that is some delicious stuff. I can't hot foods, but that combination is something else.
I love me a spicy food. Coffee's a seemingly popular out there. How many animes feature milk coffee? Not enough. I don't know why specifically milk coffee. There's the Is the Order a Rabbit? That's all about cute girls serving coffee. The new one this season has tea, which is a little different.
They definitely have milk in their tea, though.
Yeah, there is milk in the tea.
Koreatown bobas are all over the place.
I don't think I've actually seen people put milk in their tea in real life.
What? You've never been to an English breakfast tea or anything like that?
No. I consider creamer a little bit different because of consistency, but just like plain milk.
Oh, all right. Fine,
yeah, I like creamer.
Fine.
I consider creamer to be different.
Milk.
Would you drink creamer? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Would I or have I? Both answers yes.
Try half and half on your cereal.
Oh my gosh, you are speaking the truth right there. You're like, oh man, cereal's good, but
just eat it with ice cream at that point.
We've got vitamin D milk, like the whole milk. I'll put some whole milk on my cereal. Oh, it's even better. What if I just use half and half? What if I just use whipping cream? What if I just use whipped cream? Dude, kid cereal's the best.
It's totally different animal than any regular milk. I doesn't like regular milk, but half and half, totally okay. I don't know. Maybe it's the
at that point I'm just
content.
using vanilla. At that point, I'm just using vanilla ice cream. You can't stop me. It's already stretched well
with Cocoa Puffs.
Like if cereal isn't already a dessert, because like most breakfast stuff is just desserts. Like if you don't already consider dessert, just ice cream just makes it dessert.
I realized that cereal was dessert when I went to Froyo and there were cereals as toppings, and I was like, oh, it is just sugar, isn't it?
Unless you're seeing like a cornflake or something, which is only half a dessert.
That was years ago.
Ice cream parlors become as exotic. There's a handful of sprinkles, maybe some sauces, but now you go into 31 flavors. Pisha, we got like 150 in there, and it's boxes of different cereals and all kinds of hundreds of different types of diced dried fruit, and it's just like pouring.
Also, we'll do all the mixed
ice cream.
Yeah.
And
I still always do chocolate
We'll take the ice
froyo.
cream. We'll put on our cold plate. We'll chop all the stuff up. And we're gonna roll it all together.
Yeah.
I still always
When
go to a
did that
chocolate
even
froyo
happen?
with gummy bears.
What'd you say, Steven?
When did that happen? I remember
When they
Cold
started advancing.
Creamery.
Yeah,
Cold
Stone.
Stone.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, when did
Cold
it?
Stone, and then
Yeah.
Cold Stone went international and ended up in Thailand, and Thailand was like, all right, next level. We're gonna make it thin and roll it up.
Yeah. Yeah, Cold Stone says they're founded in 1988.
I have had liquid nitrogen ice cream before. There's a place in Eastern Washington called Orondo that is very famous for its apples, and they will fresh smash an apple into some cream and then mix it up, and then they have the little like the hose of liquid nitrogen, like freeze it up, and then the nitrogen like disappears away, and then you get nitrogen ice cream. And then it was like years later after I had been to that place that they came out with those little dragon's breath bites where they actually keep the nitrogen in the ice cream bite. So when you eat it, you then have the of like fog nitrogen, the same way you get when you put like dry ice in water. And that's all really fun and exciting to eat. But it's just not as good as just make the ice cream with liquid nitrogen, because it gets so cold so fast that you maintain a lot of the fats and sugars better.
In the late 70s, my family NASA in Florida, and they were selling in freeze-dried ice cream.
Freeze-dried ice cream.
It was like thick potato chips of ice.
Huh.
Quite yummy.
It's got a Google autofill. Tillamook makes monster
What,
cookie.
freeze-dried?
Yeah, freeze-dried ice cream. They serve it like it's astronaut food. That's fun.
Yeah, that's what it was. We bought it at NASA. Astronauts.
When I was a kid, I would put sugar in coffee as a substitute for tea. You don't do that anymore? Good, because you're an adult. Now I put protein shake in my coffee. Or I put coffee in my protein shake. I don't know which way you want to pretend that goes.
Well, it all depends upon the percent.
So in the morning I have just black coffee with some like soluble fiber in it, because I really want to have a nice coffee and fiber fueled poop in the morning. And then after I'm done like working in the yard or doing anything, I'll have like an iced coffee. And if I'm having iced coffee, all bets are off. That thing is getting my protein chocolate powder mixed with some almond milk with like a squirt of vanilla or a little bit of vanilla protein powder as well. Whipping it all together so it's a little frothy, like a giant mocha. All bets are off. Bitter coffee? You mean good, rich, dark coffee, not bitter coffee. I love coffee. We'll talk coffee more later.
Oh,
why is my bit rate so low? How in the world is this possible?
I can't believe you stripped like it was like all of a sudden the screen just went blank and then you posted your notation afterwards.
Yeah. I'm an adult and coffee must be as miserable as me. What? I love coffee. Pour over, Italian stovetop, espresso. I do all the coffees. I have probably more coffee makers than most people. Where do I even see what my like? Because I'm sending it. Okay, now it's a good connection. This is so confusing because like I send stuff to Restream, and then Restream sends stuff to YouTube, and then randomly YouTube's like, your connection's not great. I'm like, how are your guys' servers not just like sitting next to each other saying, hey, here's the stuff? Drives me nuts. And I can't like look at it. That's the other frustrating part, is I can't like pull up my, maybe it's in here. General.
I would speculate that there's some sort of an algorithmic choke because it's actually looking at what your content is, and I think that's it. Like I've seen streamers have issues just being and it just bogs down their whole site.
Yeah.
And it's like about to do something naughty. I don't know. It's like bizarre. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. No, I know exactly what you're talking about too. Dragon Ruse likes your coffee black as long as you like it. That's the important part. You only drink iced and frozen coffees. My very first ever coffee drink was an iced almond mocha. And this was at a Safeway where there was a Starbucks in the Safeway. And this was back in 2002, 2003, maybe 2002. And so I got the mocha, and it was finished, gone. My tiny little body had completely ingested it by the time we made it like to the actual like food section of the store. It was the greatest experience of my life, and since then I have just been drinking more and more and more coffee.
My coffee at the end of the day, at the end of the morning, and she would in the refrigerator, and then she would take the pot of a before, mix in vanilla and a scoop of vanilla ice cream.
Ooh,
yeah. I would sit down at the kitchen table with a glass of that, just draw and draw and draw and draw, and I've been addicted ever since. It's just, that's it.
Awesome. It's like that's like an affogato. The Italians do this thing where they put a scoop of vanilla ice cream in a cup, and then they pour a shot of coffee over it, and then you eat it with a spoon. It's so freaking good. 7 to 8 cups a day. That's a lot of cups of coffee. Wait, like, you just make a pot for yourself and you just go through that? Or, because, like, for me, that would just be annoying to make that many cups of coffee, because most of mine are single shots. I don't have many pots of coffee that I could produce at this point in my life. You're kind of choppy, Steve. Yeah, Steven's mic it comes and goes. He'll be like perfectly clear one line, and then like 2 lines later, we get like a half line. But you'll learn to interpret it.
Oh, nice.
And then I was going to say that Serrano's disappears because he's got a puppy. I have no idea, honestly, because it's one of those weird things where like you'll get a line where everything's fine, and then you'll have a line where it's kind of chop. So it's sort of one of those, who knows? Could literally be the time of day. Your internet's resetting its IP and all that. 2 pots a day, morning and evening. Man, you remind me of when I was in sales. You kill the Joe, you make some Mo. Like, I think when I was on sales floors, I had a cup of coffee in my hand 24/7. Like, just always had a cup right there. And like, if you were the last guy to use some of the coffee in the pot, you started up another one. So there was just a constant stream of coffee always going into my veins. Now I make it for myself in single cups, so I only have like 2 or 3 cups a day.
You're gonna need a cup size definition from
cup is 8 to 10 ounces.
Yeah, I get that, but what is Dragon Ruse's cup size? Because I would when I was doing tile work,
yeah,
and it was just a perpetual series of ventis. You know, fewer cups, but they were gigantic in the first place.
Right. That's like we had a friend who ran an excavation company, so we had like a Bobcat and some of those other things. And he was like, "Yeah, I was getting some headaches. Talked to my doctor about it, and he asked me how much coffee I was drinking. I was like, oh, I just have 2 mugs a day. But mugs on a construction site are goddamn big gulps the size of your head. So this guy was drinking like 3/4 of a gallon of coffee every single morning, just to kind of get through work, and they would have another cup like a normal mug when he gets home. So I get you there. 32 ounces of coffee, exactly. Last coffee you had was junior year of high school. Waterfalled my friend's glass bottle Starbucks mocha. I don't know what waterfalled means. Do you know what waterfall? About 12 ounces. Wow, those are healthy cups, Dragon. Those are the biggest one my Keurig would make. I'm gonna Google this and hope it's not like a dirty thing.
Fault. I don't know what that means.
Oh, are you talking like when you're like, oh, don't worry, I won't touch my mouth to the bottle, and you just like pour it down your throat? Is that what you're talking about? That you waterfalled the coffee? Once I get an answer to this, I think I'm gonna wrap it for the night. Yep. Okay. Okay. Good. I'm glad I noodled through that one. I figured it out. We made it. We made it to true knowledge. Steven, thank you for being here. Serranos, you're not kind of here, but you're here enough that I'll say thank you for being here as well. Pop Culture joined in as well. Look forward to some other chatters. It's okay to come in and say hi as well. I'm not gonna sit around for 2 more hours and see how late I can end up doing this, because I know that if we stay on, we'll get Joe Ball back in, and then I'll be like 8 hours later, and I'll be like, man, I should end this stream, but I don't want to. So I'm gonna end it now before that happens.
Joe Ball knows how to talk, man.
Yeah, I like how you say you have to cut it short, and it's like a lot because it's getting late. And it's like you stay up past midnight.
He is such a good storyteller. He talks, and you're like, I want to listen. I love it. I love it. I'm so looking forward to my book.
I was able to stop I wasn't able to watch past like a couple hours or whatever. Then I come back like 3 hours later. It's like you're still going.
Yep. Yeah. No, that was a wonderful last Friday, and then again on Monday. Looking forward to doing more of that in the future. But tonight, I shouldn't do that because I have stuff to do tomorrow morning before we end up going to the game tomorrow evening. So very excited to hang out with friends and go spend too much money on food, but I'm gonna do it because ballpark garlic fries are always the best. I don't know what it is. Can't explain it. Theoretically, they should be the worst thing on the planet, but they just taste amazing.
Nobody there to tell the teenagers not to put all of the seasoning on the fries.
They just dump it onto and it's like they don't even really like roast it at all. It's so they pull the fries out and they just scoop like raw minced garlic onto the fries, and you're like, oh yeah, do it again. And they're like, but sir, I'm only supposed to put on. Do it again.
Slip them a 20.
I mean, you say that, no, you just like, you ask for more. They don't want to even listen to you say another word. They just do that. They just put it on, give it to you, and hope you go away.
Yeah. Fine, get out of here.
And that's how I was. I was just like, I don't care anything you say. I'm just going to give you it. It's not my money that's being wasted here.
Exactly. Spread that garlic, boy. Yeah. Get it on those potato fries.
You're the kind of person I'd probably refuse service to, though.
Wouldn't be the first time.
Wouldn't be the last.
What is Restream saying? 100 messages? You got something? You get a secret prize or something like that?
You're way down in the chat there. That was a while ago.
Wait, what?
Yeah, the 100 messages in the chat.
Oh, is that what it's saying? Okay.
Yeah, there's 100 messages in the chat. Yeah.
Oh, I don't even look at the chat normally. I keep my little thing up so that I can always just say, you know what?
The meat chef.
I have constant access to my clips, but all of my clips are just Zuckerberg talking about smoking meats. That sounds disturbingly erotic. You mean fantastically erotic, I think is what you're going for there.
Give it 10 years, maybe 15. Blaine is going to be starring in his own Ugly Bastard anime.
They're going to need to change the definition of ugly bastard. Look at this hair. This hair's not going anywhere.
Oh, no, half the hair is going to disappear, but it's not going to be where
It's
you
just
want
going
it.
to
It's
just
all
be
the way
gone.
down, all the way down the middle. It's just going to stay on the sides. You're going to look like Mo and Curly. Or whichever one Curly, I think.
There's just going to be some poor lolly being drawn, like making French fries with this nasty old man who's just like, yeah, put on the garlic. Yeah, another scoop. Now taste it. Tell me if it's good enough yet.
Yeah.
And then like 5 volumes later,
now,
it's the French fries going up my butthole.
Dang, it was Larry. How did I not know which one of the Three Stooges had the curly hair?
Because it's not Curly. We know it's not Curly because Curly has no hair.
Yeah, I watched none of the Three Stooges after the age of 6.
Yeah, you might have seen all of it then.
Yeah.
Alrighty. I need to get out of here. Thank you so much, Steven. Always good to chat with you. Serranos, I'm glad you popped back in so that we could say goodbye. Any last words from you, starting with Steven?
Just the usual. Things are good. We're fine. This has been fun. And what are we doing Friday open chat as well, or?
I will not be able to host anything. I will be at a baseball game for the Mariners that night. That's why I decided to go with the open chat today. Mm-hmm. I did post it, but you know how algorithms are with showing you everything that one person posts. So I should, I guess, make that announcement verbally here that I will not be streaming tomorrow because I will be busy. We had friends invite us because they had tickets, and it was like, okay, yeah, of course, I'd love to hang out with you. So I will be doing that tomorrow. So go find other interesting YouTubers to go enjoy their chat tomorrow with. Hey, you found an emoji of me. Nice.
There is also one additional option, which would be you could join the Escape Corner Discord server, and we could host a chat of our own that night.
That is true. I can
just
pop open.
Yeah. I'll be in the voice there. I'll just be sitting there all night alone, unless somebody else decides they just want to join me.
We have a voice channel? We do.
That
we have general.
There's a default. A default gives you a voice channel and a text channel to start with, and then unless you delete it, it will be there.
Okay, sweet. Well, it's there, so we could definitely do that. If you want to hang out and chat with some good guys who want to talk about
literally
and
anything.
girls, we've got Ukrainka. We have one girl in our Discord currently that I'm 90% sure is indeed a girl.
Yeah, how funny is that?
Peter Venkman fan site, I believe, is also female.
Yeah, I that's my guess as well.
But it's a guess I have rooted together based on Brandon the Anime Guy's reactions to them posting. So if they're not, oops. Wait, I have woman? No, I have woman. Singular. There's only one in the Discord. I don't even think my wife is in the Discord 90% of the time. Oh my goodness.
Well,
wait, how do I do? True, I have no. That doesn't narrow it down. You can be a eunuch.
Well, you have an enjoyable game tomorrow. That sounds like
I will set them some things up so that if we do have a live chat in the Discord, Serranos, you can actually like moderate something there in case need be, because as I understand it, Discord has kind of a cranky TOS, so I'll let you.
Voice, in terms of voice communications, I don't think there's anything it can set off. I don't think they monitor it that closely that they would cancel you for voice communication.
Okay.
So yeah, we
All right.
shouldn't have to worry about that.
Just in case, we'll set something up there. So if you want to talk escapism with the crew tomorrow, join the Discord. Links down in the links not in the description. I'll put the link in the description right now.
And we're going to post it
Discord
here to the YouTube video thingy.
Yep, there it is. And then I'm also going to put it in the Discord. Boom, there's a Discord link. Alrighty, so if you wanna chat more escapism on Friday for a true fun time Friday, definitely join that. In the meantime, everyone have a wonderful rest of your evening. I hope your escapism this week has been fun and fulfilling, and you've also been able to get everything else you need to get done completed. Have a wonderful, wonderful night, and I will catch you next week. Kanpai.